What is up, Wolverine Nation? Dennis Fithian at the moment is unable to join us, so we have none other than my host, my teammate, my point guard, John Diadamo, coming straight from Atlanta, sipping some bourbon. But he's here. Hey, we come to play. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's last minute or not. What is up, John? Welcome to the call-in show.
Good Lord. Buckeyes, hold on to your asses if you're gonna don't come at us tonight. That's all I gotta say. Yeah, I just came from Atlanta, Georgia. So that was a great trip. Good to spend a couple of days with my colleagues over there. I have no idea what the hell we're gonna talk about. So I'm just gonna let you roll, and I will respond and take calls. I know my buddy Will ND texted me and said he was considering calling in tonight. As long as we were nice people, we weren't gonna be assholes. And I said, look, if we were able to have a 30-minute conversation with a Buckeye that was respectful, we can have a conversation with almost anybody, as long as you're respectful. So there it is.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think what we're gonna do is we're definitely gonna kick it off with our none other than our Kenneth Grant Chase Ohio State, Chase the voice of college football chase down tracker here, because as you can see, we are making ground here, man. I mean, I think last show we were 30, we gained 30 from last show. So anyone watching who happens to be unsubscribed, please subscribe to the channel, because we are catching the Ohio State channel that is in the network. We are 810 away. We were once like 1,500 away. That's how much ground we're making on this. And look at Kenneth Grant get closer and closer, John.
That big fella is coming for third base Ryan Day. And just the other day, TJ, it was 8:40. It's already 8:10, and that's because of all of you who have subscribed to the channel, who have appreciated the content. It means so much to all of us, and I hope that you know that. We even got a message from Mark Rogers himself, the owner of the channel, saying that he was really impressed with how Michigan was coming along. But we're not there yet. As JJ McCarthy said, job's not finished. 810 to go, and then after that, we're coming from Miami. So let's do this.
And we are now within 2,000 from Miami. Okay, so Miami is they better know we're on their ass too. So I mean, they better get it together down there, because we're coming for that number one spot. As Michigan is the all-time wins leader in college football, we will be the all-time subscriber leader in the Voice of College Football Network. So as I said earlier, if you're unsubscribed, please give us a subscribe. Please hit that bell, because we got content all the time, literally, especially these days. We have it every day, all day. So yeah, John, let's get it. What I wanted to hit on was recruiting. Is there might be a few recruits coming, more than just one. I think we all know Saturday, July 13th, we're all anticipating Philip Wright to announce his decision, which will be looking Michigan, but we'll see what happens there. I feel it'll be Michigan. My lock is on Michigan. Also, I want to make this announcement here. I made this announcement yesterday when we did for anyone who's watching was unable to see our collab with Matthew Miller of the Texas channel within our network. Me, John, and Matt, we discussed the upcoming heavyweight matchup between Michigan and Texas. And at the end of the show, I dropped a little Easter egg, and I said I am now locking Jaden Sanders in. Tuesday's show, I was on the edge of locking Jaden Sanders in.
You were close.
I was like, I'm this close. But enough has occurred, as well as we will be fully transparent here. EJ Holland did drop a prediction yesterday. I wanted to do it Tuesday. I held off. EJ Holland got it in yesterday. I'm locking it in because some things have happened. He's moved his decision date to post barbecue weekend. He was going to announce before. That's very telling to me. Not only that, he loves Michigan. His mom loves Michigan. What Michigan has to do now is they have to sell Dad, because Dad is a former football player for TCU. Jaden Sanders is from Texas. This is what Michigan has to close, and I feel very good that they will. I know that they are going to be very aggressive in their recruiting pitch to Jaden Sanders. Jaden Sanders is a 6'2" corner out of Texas. So I am locking that in. It's officially locked in, and I feel good about it. But of course, the barbecue's 3 weeks away. We'll see how it goes. And then on top of that, there's been some recent smoke, John. By there's a recruit out there that I think many of us are keeping our eyes focused on, and his name is Andrew Babalola. And there has been multiple. This is so you know, I brought to the table about 2 weeks ago that Michigan's pursuit of Andrew Babalola has intensified. Michigan is all in. We talked about this on the elite targets, all in, and they also, you know, they pulled off Ivan Taylor, they pulled off Andrew Olish. Well, they are going very aggressively towards Andrew Babalola right now. They have a very good pitch right now. I'm not going to get into that publicly on what that pitch is, but I will say this: Sam Webb, as well as a Rivals, there's a national Rivals writer who now believe Michigan is in the lead for the Andrew Babalola race, and he may be moving his decision up. Now, we'll see where that goes. I have not gotten that fully confirmed yet, but one of those sources I trust very well, Sam Webb. I do trust Sam Webb. I know people have their thing with Sam Webb, but he's about as accurate as it gets in the game.
He's very plugged in. Like, I understand he is in the Sunshine, Rainbows, and Puppies Brigade for sure.
Yeah.
But he's also extremely plugged in.
He's probably the most tapped in insider in all of Michigan, the entire Michigan sphere, right? I mean, EJ, we know Chris Ballas is the man. EJ Holland puts in work, but Sam Webb's the most tapped in. Let's be honest. He's got Ward Manuel and Sherrone Moore and Dusty May on speed dial. Let's just be real here. So
let me ask you. Can I ask you about going back to Sanders for a second?
Okay.
What do you think was the it factor to take Jaden Sanders up to a 93.8% chance, according to On3? What do you think? What do you think won him over to that degree to have that level of prediction? Versus where he was.
Yeah. So I'm going to pull up his recruiting profile right now. So this way anyone who's unfamiliar with Jaden Sanders can get an idea of who he is. So Jaden Sanders right here is a 6'2", 172 corner, great size, out of Texas. He's a 4-star, not only by 247, but also the 247 composite, which in multiple networks have him there. I think On3 just moved him up into like 215 or something along those lines. But yeah, so what occurred is, one, Lamar Morgan has been on this for a while. He came, so Jaden Sanders already visited with him and his mom prior. So, and that visit went well. So mom appears to be sold, from my understanding. Or at least she likes Michigan a lot. It's all about dad now. And not only that, after Shamari Earls decided to go to Georgia, Michigan has really, again, again, our report, John, was Michigan was going all in on top targets, because here's why. One, we're at 15 commits, guys. There's only room for about 10 more. So Michigan's really turning the heat up on these final 10 spots. It could be anywhere from 8 to 10. So what has occurred is, because obviously our cornerback options have dwindled a little bit, Jaden Sanders is at the top, at the top of the board. So Lamar Morgan and Wink Martindale, they've gone more aggressive in their recruiting pitch. And not only that, he was going to, and I spoke about this earlier, he was going to commit about a week prior to the barbecue at the Big House. He's now pushing that post barbecue at the Big House. So that has made a lot of people be like, okay, well, that's interesting. And not only that, when you look at the teams that are in competition with us, the reality is Michigan is the top program. Like, we're talking about Baylor, TCU. I mean, yeah, they're Texas schools. They're Texas schools. But Michigan is the true power out of his group. So we'll see what happens. The big thing for Michigan is, and oh, by the way, the recruiting pitch that they gave Jaden Sanders and his mom and his dad, if he were to go to a school in the region, it could be anywhere from a 4 to 6 hour drive, right? Well, they're like, all right, well, here in Michigan, that's far away. Well, guess what? The drive to the airport for them is about 45 minutes, and the flight's only 2.5 hours. So it's actually, in terms of time traveled, quicker to come to Michigan than it might be to some of these other colleges within the region. So that's been one of the pitches that they've been selling Jaden Sanders, and it's been hitting home. And his mom made comment of it, so it's good to see. Let's see where it goes. As I said, I'm locking Jaden Sanders in. We got some more people that have come into the chat. We're at 140 right now, John. So we have more. So we got a bunch of people coming in.
We got some super chats. We got 140 people.
We will get to those.
I will say this: if there's anybody who can win over a dad, Sharon Moore just won over a dad with Andrew Olish's dad and worked out with the guy.
Absolutely.
So
Dude,
I have some faith in Sharon Moore's ability to relate to the fathers and to move the needle there.
dude, this recruiting staff and this recruiting philosophy and strategy that they have been bringing to the table has just been so in sync. It's been so aggressive, and they're doing what they need to do. There's no question about it. And then one more thing I want to mention: if Philip Wright commits to Michigan Saturday, which, as I said, I've locked him in. I do feel like he's going to be a Michigan Wolverine. That will put us in the top 10. So we will have a top 10 recruiting class. I know that means a lot to people. I'm a film guy. I mean, don't get me wrong, though. I don't want classes that are ranked in the 20s. Like, let's not get that confused. I'm about the players in the class, but I do understand there are a lot of people who are watching this right now, a lot of people who follow recruiting where they really want to see us in the top 10. So we are going to see that Saturday, guys. So bear with us, or just stay tuned for that. And then let's get to some of our super chats, John. So we got Blue Wolverine, go Blue. Shout out Blue Wolverine. We appreciate you, man. You've always you've been consistently contributing to the channel. Shout out to you, and shout out to your kid too.
Absolutely,
Micah. Micah's his name, if I remember. So
Micah.
Shout out to Micah. Yep. Hopefully he gets a Capano jersey for his for Christmas. All right, and then we got our boy Justin, always coming through. Justin, I hope at the barbecue they have steaks, salt potatoes, and teach the Southern kids the great food of the North. Hey, you never know, man. Let them know what the deal is in Michigan. I hear you, Justin. All right, and then Justin again coming through. Love the great show, guys. Hey, Justin, we love you, man. We appreciate you. Again, you are also a consistent contributor to the channel. You, Blue Wolverine, Nick, Moose, Big Moose. And then also, I want to, before we take our caller, and Will's waiting patiently behind the line. And for anyone else who wants to call into the show, the StreamYard is in the description. And then, John, do you want to throw that in the chat as well?
Just did. Already did.
Yeah. Okay. So if anyone wants to call into the show, the StreamYard link is in the description. It's also in the chat. And then I want to get to one more thing before we get to our first caller. We next week, the booster interview should be released. The reason why that has been delayed is because there have been things behind the scenes. We've been requested to hold for a little while. There's reasons for that. Nothing too crazy. Simply, the individual that we have this interview with is a very important person, and there's a reason why they requested to withhold the interview for some time. It's simply because they had things to do professionally that are extremely critical for them. So we had to remain patient, and we have, and I believe next week we're going to be green lighted to release it. So stay tuned to that, our interview with the booster. There is another booster that I'm going to be reaching out to soon that I've, to come on the show. I'm going to be reaching out to come on the show. I will keep you guys tapped in on that. Hopefully we can get him in around August. And then also, not to give too much information away, John, but you are aware, obviously, we may have, it's in the early stages, we may have an interview coming down the pipeline that I think a lot of our viewers are going to be extremely excited about. We're talking about a major, I'm going to say it again, a major recruit who has expressed interest in coming on the show and doing an interview. And we're currently in the planning phase with him. And we will see where that goes. But if we are able to bring this to the channel, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I think you're gonna be pretty happy with it. So we'll see what we can do. We're gonna do our best to get that to you guys. And now let's get to our first caller, John. Let's do Will. It. What is up, Will?
Thanks for having me on, guys.
No problem. What's up, buddy?
On location, we love when you call.
Yeah, I know. I knew you. When I saw you, John, I'm like, all right, I'm calling. How confident are you guys in Alex Orji this season? That's what I'm curious about. Because I thought there's a chance you guys might go to the portal, but you're sticking with them.
Yeah. So I'll go first, John. I'll let you take it after. I think I'm going to say a lot of things that you're going to say, John, and it's simply this. Going into the spring game, there was some concerns because we know what his high school completion percentage is, which was the low 50s. There has been talk out of Ann Arbor that this has improved. He's looking more consistent. But what really sold me or made me feel less concerned and a little more confident was when we watched the spring game. He looked like a very composed quarterback who was able to throw the ball accurately, at least short to intermediate, which, that is going to be his game for the most part. So I do feel cautiously optimistic, but I would be lying to you, Will, if I said we're good, zero concern, everything is fine. There is certainly a bit of unknown. John, what do you think about that?
I wouldn't say zero concern, but I feel very good about Alex Orji. And the reason that I say that is because compared to the other quarterbacks on the roster that have an actual chance, Alex Orji was put into real game time in real live fire. We're not talking when Michigan was up 47-3. We're saying when Michigan was in a 13-10 situation, or against Ohio State, against Alabama, against Washington. They put Alex Orji in, and not always in a running concept. There were opportunities for RPOs. He usually just decided to take his own number because he saw that was the best opportunity for him to score, to gain yardage. So I think he, as Ferris always says, and we need to make a T-shirt about this someday, I do believe that Alex Orji could complete a forward pass. And that he can make it to that 62%. But we will see. I just think that, as a defense, you have to worry about him. Even Milroe, and I think that Minner did a good job of neutralizing Milroe's deep ball. But at the same time, a dual threat like that, you have to worry about short ball, medium ball, Donovan Edwards, Khalil Mullings, Colston Loveland, and the ability of Alex Orji to run the football. You have to factor a lot of things in, and only the very best defenses and the very best defensive coordinators, I'm thinking like Kirby Smart, will be able to contend against that. And even Ohio State with Caleb Downs, I think, is going to be formidable on defense specifically. So yeah, I'm down for Alex Orji all the way. I know that there are some who are on the Davis Warren train. I respect those opinions, but I say Orji in the end zone.
Do you think he's more ready than JJ was in his season where he shared time with Cade?
Year one. Yeah, I would actually say probably is more ready than freshman JJ. Now, don't get me wrong, as the season went on, JJ was obviously, he reached a point where I think there was a big debate within the Michigan community of who should really be starting. But I would say going into week one, I do think, because remember, Orji does have some game experience. He's a little more ready than freshman JJ McCarthy would be.
And would you say Donovan Edwards is going to be the bell cow running back, or are you going to have sort of a running back similar to Blake Corum with him, and they're going to share carries?
Yeah, so it'll be a running back by committee for sure. Khalil Mullings is going to be a big contributor. Donovan Edwards will be running back 1A, and then Khalil Mullings will be 1B. And then I do expect a little bit of Ben Hall, possibly some Cole Cabana. I'm hoping to get some Cole Cabana because he's a freak. Athletically, speed-wise, he's a 10.5, 500-meter guy. But we'll see. I mean, definitely, maybe Tavier Dunlap, too. Tavier Dunlap may get a little run. Mm-hmm. Hey, John, just a heads up. I'm having issues with the chat right now with the StreamYard, so you might have to, if there's anything gets starred or anything, run that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm happy to. Wolverine Nation is a YouTube member. He's reminding us to like and subscribe. Yeah. I mean, I think TJ's spot on. Imagine 2021. I think it's going to be very similar to that. It's probably going to be Donovan Edwards is in for a series. Khalil Mullings is in. I could see them doing a situation where they use Khalil or Bredesen as a fullback in certain concepts. I would even like to see the Maryland Eye, which I'm very excited about being in the football game, in the video game, where you could put Bredesen in there, you could put Khalil Mullings in there, both as fullbacks. That could be very exciting. So yeah, you're going to see a lot of I hope a lot of creativity, especially given Tony Alford's level of experience and his ability to manage the loads as he's done at Ohio State, with having to deal with Travion Henderson, having to deal with Mayan Williams. He had quite a bit of running back by committee that he had to juggle, and I would argue that he did it effectively. I don't fault the specific running back core as the reason Ohio State lost those games. I think it was more of an overall third base Ryan Day management issue versus a position group issue. So yeah, I think it's going to be. I'm with TJ on this one by committee, and I would like to see some Cole Cabana and Tavier Dunlap, and even some Jordan Marshall maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And for like, obviously, you guys stole Ivan Taylor from us. Do you think that was because? I mean, obviously, that was shaky for the Notre Dame for a while because Chris O'Leary left, the coach that recruited him left to go with Harbaugh.
Thank you, Harbaugh.
Yeah. Are you guys as confident with Nathaniel as you were with Ivan? Wusu
Nathaniel.
Wusu
Okay. No, great question. Yeah.
I know you guys. I heard from my Notre Dame source that you guys offered a bag to him.
Yeah. Okay. So we call him Owasu Boateng. No one calls him Nathan on this, Nathaniel on this. So that's why you threw us. And plus, the reason why is we have a Nate Marshall committed. So
that's why I was like, wait a minute, Nate Marshall. Yeah.
So Owasu Boateng. So here's the deal with Owasu Boateng. Okay, listen. Michigan's NIL game has improved. They're definitely in the game of compensation. They are not Oregon though. They are not Miami. They're not Texas A&M. Okay, it's not that. But Michigan made a move on the official visit. But I will be honest with you here. You know how when kids go on official visits, they're on a high? The concern is, as the official visit distances itself, is that glow or is that high gonna fade away a little bit? And as you know, if you've been paying attention to Boateng recruitment, he
posts like every school. Like he's like every school he posts stuff. Yeah.
Yep. He's down to 5 schools, and he has said he is not shutting this down. He might even go all the way to National Signing Day. So the reality is, Will, we're all going to be in this roller coaster ride for a while. I will say this though, if I had to call it today, I think Notre Dame has the edge.
I'd absolutely.
I mean, yeah, his brother was just his. I mean, his. Yeah. I mean, if you just watch his highlight, I mean.
Nope.
Uh-oh.
You froze.
Sad about Derek Meadows going to the SEC.
Get away from the trees.
Yeah. And you guys seem to be losing Derek Meadows right now, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Derek Meadows. I don't know. I mean, to be fair, our wide receivers, we haven't done crap with wide receivers in a minute. So hopefully this year, with our new wide receivers coach, we can actually have decent receiver play.
Let me ask you this question. So you know how Sean Terry left your class?
Hmm?
Do you wish he didn't leave your class now that Derek Meadows has decided he's leaning elsewhere?
I think Derek's leaving just because like our wide receivers have sucked. Honestly.
You know, I mean, well, what do you think about Notre Dame's class right now? Because it seems like you guys have a little bit of turbulence in the class where kids are looking elsewhere. And
this is what happens every year, man. I mean, it's better than Kelly. At least we're going for the guys. Unlike Kelly, we just went with the guys that we're going to eventually sign. I like that we're at least trying. If we win this year, we have to win big this year. If we win big this year, we can land more of these guys. Okay. But if we go 9-3 again, then we're not going to land them. I think this year is huge for recruiting in the future for Notre Dame.
Let me ask you this question. I don't know if you know this. Do you have any insight into Notre Dame's NIL strategy?
I know generally they pay for transfers, but they don't pay upfront money for high school players.
What about CJ Carr?
I mean, CJ just wanted to get away from Michigan. That's why. Like he wanted to. I mean, not get away. He wanted a different scene. He didn't want to be trapped in the family business.
So are you aware of the team-based salary that Notre Dame does?
Not really.
Okay. Yeah, so they do a team-based salary, but I wanted to know if there was anything more than that because I'm not. I've heard some things, but I've not had any. I've not had like. I don't know their full-scale NIL strategy. I am aware of the transfer portals, and I am aware that they do a team-based salary, but I don't know how much they're offering high school kids or anything like that. So I was wondering if you had any intel on that.
I mean, I pay for a message board. They don't give me that information.
Yeah, fair enough, dude. All right, I didn't know if you had like another in or something. Yeah. But all right, man. Do you have any more questions, or we're gonna move on to our next caller?
No, thanks for having me on, guys.
No, thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it. Always good to talk to another rival fan base on the show. John, we have had between the Ohio State fans and Notre Dame fans, we've had great conversations with the rivals.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you know, Will, you and I were messaging about this, and my thing is, And we've got Doreen in the house who's on Menace and on Scoop. And we welcome anybody who is respectful. We've had TJ, you had Dr. Buckeye on for a half hour,
Yeah.
David Greenshield, you had Hummus
Buckeye.
here. We had Hummus Hero for a half hour. If you're, I mean, look, we're going to disagree about who's the best in the Big Ten. We're going to disagree about who's going to win in November. But as long as we're having a good debate, and someone isn't spamming the chat with shamrocks, you know who I'm talking about, and being ridiculous, then I'm all for it. You know, bring on the rivals. Absolutely.
I mean, I just appreciate it because I went on an Ohio State show on today and they kept cutting me off. So I appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, you always listen, man. It's an open door policy, bro. You ever want to call in, you're always welcome to call in.
Thank
We
you.
love chatting with no problem, man. So we appreciate you calling in, all right, buddy?
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
All right, man. Peace
Appreciate you.
All right, I just want to make a comment about Doreen. She definitely hates TJ. That's been confirmed. If you look at any of the video comments, she's always like, "Hey, Ferris. Hey, John." I'm like, all right. She hates TJ. That's all right, though.
Oh, wait. There's a comment about it. Hold on. I have to find it now.
Yeah, no,
but no, she mentioned you. She mentioned you.
All right. Because I was like, all right, she hates TJ confirmed. It's okay though. That's all right. She seems nice though.
Absolutely, very nice.
Yeah, she seems cool. All right, so let's get our next caller up here. You can look for that comment, John, if you want. Our boy Juju. I think this is my guy who's always commenting on the socials. Let's find out. What's up, man?
What's good? What's good, y'all? How y'all doing?
Hey, Juju.
What's up, bro?
I got 3 things I want to touch on, and has to do with the Texas preview that you had with old boy.
Okay.
I wanted to touch on Texas linebackers, our O-line, and something I did disagree with you on about our defense is safeties, and maybe corners, but I'm gonna start with the O-line, and then I get your thoughts and go one by one. But
Okay, let's go.
Okay, so yeah, we do have a lot of questions at O-line, right? But I'm gonna date this back to 2021. You remember 2021, we had a lot of questions. We were typically kind of young in that area, and that's when Sharon Moore took over.
Correct.
So my only concern in that game, since Texas's strength is at their edge, I'm not really too concerned with Miles, but I am concerned a little bit with Gentry. He took that 2-year mission. He is a high recruit. That is the only area I'm worried about. The interior, I'm locked in on. I don't think we're gonna have an issue right there. And their interior does not scare me. They do have talent on the edges. So what I'm thinking is we're gonna take Khalil or Donovan or whoever's in that backfield, and we're gonna chip on his side a lot. I don't know if you remember, but we did that with I think it was Carson Barnhart. We did it with him a lot, tackle playing or a guard playing tackle. So I want to get your thoughts on that, and who do you think, will struggle, if any?
No, I think you hit it. You hit it the nail on the head, man. Because I brought this up on our show, past shows. Andrew Gentry is, to me, the biggest question mark because in spring ball, Juju, I don't know if you know this or not. Maybe you do. He, out of all the offensive linemen, he was the one that was most inconsistent. Some days he'd look great. Other days he'd be a little off, right? And then there was even word out of Ann Arbor that they were kind of portal shopping a little bit for a right tackle, but there were no good options in the April portal. So I agree. If there is a concern on the offensive line, Andrew Gentry's it. But we'll say this though, and I'm sure you know, and yeah, he did do the 2-year Mormon mission. This is a former top 100 recruit. He obviously has the talent, he has the physical frame. So let's hope fall camp he gets it together and we're good to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Gentry. I also need to see more from Miles Hinton, because I think that he had his moments where he got beat pretty good last year when he was a starter. I think if there's anybody who I trust to do, I mean, even though Sharon Moore isn't the direct O-line coach anymore, he's going to be involved. So I think between him and Newsome and I think they're going to be fine. But I'd say on both tackles, I need to see them lay the wood a little bit more and not get beat so much, especially Miles Hinton. I actually think Miles Hinton might be I'm a little more concerned about, even though Gentry went on that mission. I know. But we have to see what happens on game one. A lot of this, even yesterday's show, was a lot of conjecture because we haven't seen a real actual. I mean, yes, we saw the spring game, but we haven't seen the full
Right.
unit. And with specifically the O-line, that's important. So when you have half the starting O-line on the maize team and half the starting O-line on the blue team, that's actually less of a problem with some of the other position groups. But with O-line, it's extremely important that they're playing together, that you can see them gel and have a cohesive unit. Fresno State, to me, is going to be a real defining moment for both tackles to see what working together with the rest of the O-line. So I'll have more of a definitive statement on Michigan post-game live right after that game.
Yeah, and from what I'm hearing, Miles Hinton, he dropped a weight as well, and a couple of our guys were banged up in that spring game too. If I do recall, a couple of our starting potential guys were banged up before that spring game. But,
That's right.
Yeah, but I want to transition to Texas's linebackers. Now, this to me is very important. I'm glad that old boy brought this up because if you remember correct, this is our OC now, Cerrone. He moved the head coach, and I think he's gonna have an ear, a voice in Kirk Campbell's ear about this. Texas linebackers, like he said, they're talented, but they're inexperienced. Now, what did we do in that Bama game? We misdirection the hell out of them, back and forth, eye test. I think that is gonna pay huge dividends. So especially if they try to match up a linebacker, I'll say Colston Loveland, or say that we catch them, I think it's wraps. I think they have to bring a safety down. So I kind of want to get your thought. I think that's Texas's weakest point right there, even though they do have talent. You can talk about their D tackles, but I think Sharon Moore, he is a genius, and he's gonna have a huge impact on that play calling in that week.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you. And Matt even said, like, even though I think it was either Lindy's or Phil Still had Texas as a top 10 linebacker unit, he said he disagreed with that. He actually said that might be one of their weakest spots on the defense outside of their second corner. He also said that's another weak point. But and the interior defensive line's an unknown for them as well. But like, I agree with you. I mean, what can Colson Lovin do to expose the those linebackers? Because you know damn well. And I agree with you also that Sharon Moore, I mean, there's no way Sharon Moore and Kirk Campbell are not collaborating together, right? I mean, Sharon Moore saw this last year. He did a damn good job as a first year. Was it his first year as offensive coordinator? I think it might have been his first year as offensive coordinator. I can't quite recall right now. But regardless, he did a great job last year. He did a great job last year as the OC. And, I fully expect Kirk Campbell and Sharon to collaborate on that. And I think, as I pointed out in the preview show yesterday, Texas's defense is not scary. The strength of Texas defense last year was their stud defensive tackles. Yeah, Sweat and Murphy.
Edge rush. Edge rush is going to be the thing.
Yeah, this year their edge rushers are going to be dangerous. But guess what? If we can run it up the middle, or we can do quick slants, and we got Samaj Morgan, you got Tyler Morris, Alex Orji, as we talked about with Will, previous caller, short to intermediate passes, he can do that. So like. I feel like I'll be honest, like the Texas game to me comes down to our defense versus their offense. I think our offense will be able to, like, their pass defense was trash last year.
Yeah,
I'm not
terrible.
anticipating that to improve too much. They didn't add enough for me to think it's going to improve too much. And our offensive line, I mean, Andrew Gentry, we agree, question mark. But if our offensive line can keep their edge rushers honest, we should be fine. We should be fine, especially with edge rushers like that, right? A quarterback like ours, Alex Orji, can make them, if they over pursue, they're fucked. Like Orji will make them pay, right? So I don't know. I'm feeling good about it. Obviously, week one or fall camp, we'll get a better idea with like intel that leaks out. But and also week one, although we also agree it's going to be a vanilla offense, they're not going to show much because they don't want to give anything away to Texas. But I mean, I really do, as it stands today, July 11th, I feel good about Michigan against Texas. And it's at home, So I don't know. I feel optimistic about it. We'll see where it goes, though. So what else you got for us, my guy?
Yeah. I was waiting on him to comment
John,
if he was gonna comment. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, I don't have a lot of to add other than look, I think that Texas's edge rushers, as Matt Miller, alluded to, are going to be sick. They are going to be really good. However, at the end of the day, Sark is an offensive guy. He's not a defensive guy.
Right.
Washington basically did whatever the hell they wanted to Texas. Like they literally did whatever the hell. And I'm not equating Alex Orji to Michael Penix. I'm not equating our wide receivers to Washington because that would be disingenuous to do it. But what I will say is that Texas just lost some people. They're still returning 7, but they did lose people, and they weren't even that good last year. So if I'm being really brutally honest, I think Donovan Edwards and Khalil Mullings are going to run for 250 plus rushing yards on that Texas defense. And I think that if Alex Orji can do any semblance of a pass game to Fred Moore, my guy Fred Moore, I think you're going to see Samaj, Fred Moore, Tyler Morris. You saw the beginnings of Tyler Morris's greatness against a team called Alabama.
Oh my God.
And what happened to SEC speed? Because Tyler Morris had more speed than the SEC speed defenders there. So I think it's going to be they're going to have some real issues on defense.
Yeah, I mean, people forget that Tyler Morris is a borderline top 100 recruit. I mean, he's a dog. But to go back to your Sharon Moore point, TJ, he split time with Matt Weiss in 2021, and then 2022 he took over. I'm almost pretty sure. But
in 21, we still had a guy called Josh Gaddis who was technically the play caller, but I would argue he probably had this type of play sheet and 3 plays that he could call. He was the play caller.
That's what it is. Josh Gaddis, that's what it is.
Speed in space.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to touch on, this is probably the biggest one that I kind of disagree with TJ. As I was trying to, I was listening to it, man. I was like talking to my TV. I was like, man, I wish I could be on that show. But is the cornerback 2 and safety and I think it's free safety because I don't have a concern at the other safety spot because of Quentin Johnson, Cujo. I don't. I think he will start because he knows the defense. I think he will not stay still. I don't think he will. I think later on, I think Walker will become the starter.
Right.
That's my opinion. And I do have I'll touch on this before I get your thoughts on all of it. Cornerback 2, for me, I think it's going to be a tight race, but I do think the matchup with Texas, I think I'm leaning towards Jair Hill because of his speed, because they have a lot of speed, and I think he can run. But I'm not sleeping on Hall. He's a bigger corner. I think we're going to use both, and I might lean towards him beating out Hill. But I just think for that game specifically and schematically, I think we're going to need him because, man, they're running all over the field.
Well, and I will say one thing, and then I'm gonna TJ, you go. But I saw Keyshawn Harris in the One magazine as CB2, and I think it was Phil Steele who put Keyshawn Harris as the projected CB2.
No way.
Personally, I think it's going to be Jair Hill. However, it could be anybody. I think we have some capable options at that position.
I don't know. I think TJ's guy is a mirror, right? I think you like Hall.
Yeah. So I am leaning. So all right. So to your point, I'll hit it all. To your point. What I brought. So anyone who didn't see the Texas preview show we did yesterday with Matt Miller, I told him that if there was a weakness on the defense, it's our second corner and the opposite safety of Makari Page. And the reason why I focused on those 2 positions is simply because it's unknown. Because it's not decided. We don't even know so we have a battle at cornerback 2 with Amir Hall and Jair Hill. And Amir Hall is an All-American at the FCS level. I love his tape. I think he's legit. I think he's a dog too. I really do. I think he's an upgrade from Josh Wallace. I think he's an upgrade from Josh Wallace, and he's a little more athletic than Josh Wallace.
He's faster. He's faster.
And then you have Jair Hill, who is obviously, we all know, a top 100 corner out of Illinois. The kid's an athletic freak. You know, he just, he needed a little time to adjust to the college life and the playbook. And this is his opportunity to fight for a starting position. We may very well have no issue at corner. We could have, you know, like both of them platooning that position, or even one taking the lead and the other one playing reliever. I mean, the reality is we could be good. I don't know. That's why I brought up that position, is simply because it's an uncertainty. And the same thing goes for the other opposite safety position, because I agree with you. It's going to be a battle between Wesley Walker and Quentin Johnson, possibly Jaden Mangum, even though I do expect Jaden Mangum to back up Makari Page. But like, regardless, the point is they might transition there. I don't know. But it's just an unknown. I don't know what we're bringing to the table there. Now, if we had Rod Moore there, I'd be like, all right, we're good money. You know, that's an all Big Ten safety. But because I don't know the transition, I guess it wasn't that like I'm saying we don't have good players there. I'm just simply saying everywhere else, I can tell you we're good. There, I have to just be honest and be like, well, I don't know yet. You know, that's why I brought up
I would agree with you with the cornerback too. It was more the free safety or strong safety, whatever. I don't know if they're gonna move Makari out of that. I don't expect them to, but I think Jaden is the future. I think he will be the backup, but I just think with Joe knowing the system already, I know he's a little bit banged up right now. I just think him knowing the system, walking into that Texas game, gives us a huge advantage. The quarterback too position, Jair knowing the system a little bit longer in Hall and having the speed, I just lean towards that. But I'm right there with you, man. I love Hall's tape. He's a little bit faster than Josh Wallace. He's a little bit bigger in stature. And I'm excited for him. I think if I'm not mistaken, he has another year of eligibility, right?
You know, I don't know. I know Jaden Mangum has like 3 years of eligibility. I know that. I don't know.
Ricky Johnson has one more, right, after this.
I think so. They got a lot of kids with some eligibility.
Real quick. I want to get your thoughts.
Yeah, you're good.
On Ricky Johnson. I'll wrap that up.
You're good. All right. So you're talking the transfer from UNLV, the corner out of UNLV.
Yeah, I'm not too high on him.
Well, look, I mean, here's the reality. So because we lost, you know, Josh Wallace, you know, obviously through graduation, and then we lost DJ Waller, he went into the transfer portal. They were looking for players, and they've even said, and Wink Martindale, he just had an interview a week ago with Champion Circle. He even said, you got to have guys with experience, whether it's, you know, whether they're high performers or not. You need to know that they've been out there before and they know how to play on a Saturday, you know. So, that's really what that is. It's just a body in the room to make sure that in case of injury or anything like that, they can throw him out there and not be, you know, like I don't know,
not
like
be terrified.
Playing with 10 guys instead of 11. You know, you have a body out there that at least has seen ball before. You know, so
shout out Notre Dame.
Yeah, it's just right. Exactly, dude. I mean, so it's really just like a safety net, you know, or a precaution, you know, and who knows? I mean, maybe another, you know, that's the thing about college football, and I think we all love it. The progression of kids from year to year, dude, it's wild. You know, like you really see kids make a leap. And then not only that, this is another thing I love about college football. Your seniors and your fifth year seniors, for some reason, and that's, you know, I think we know why. They've been in the weight room for 4 or 5 years. They've been in the system for 4 or 5 years. They're going against kids who are like 18, 19, or maybe 20. They're just at another level. So maybe Ricky Johnson can step up and actually be a contributor. We'll find out. I agree with you, though. Out of all the transfers, I'm least high on him, but at least he has some starting experience and playing experience.
100%. Yeah, that's about it, y'all.
I got a question for you, though. You're the one on Twitter that's been hitting me up a lot, right?
Yeah, that's me. I'm in the
all right, just making sure, bro. All right, that's cool. No, that's cool. No, all good.
Yeah, that's me.
No, I appreciate it.
I'm pretty tapped in.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, dude. Yeah, no, good dialogue, bro. So anything else for us, or?
No, I appreciate y'all having me on to answer my questions. Y'all doing your thing. I mean, you know, I'm about to track down OSU and.
Oh shit! Did you drop him or did you just lose it?
I hope I didn't. If I did, it was an accident.
What up, man? You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Yeah, no, dude. Appreciate you calling in, dude. And you know, never. Hey, every Thursday, call and show, bro. You can get at us whenever. All right.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
All right, go blue, bro.
Go
Thanks,
Blue.
Juju.
All right, let's get to these super chats, and we have a new member,
Yeah.
John. So
Yeah, we
Justin,
do.
our boy Justin, if Andrew Gentry struggles, we can slip Jeffrey Percy in his spot. Even coach said Andrew Gentry has the talent, but just needed to get into shape. Yeah, I mean, I think he's into shape now. He's been in the program for a year. We'll see. I'm not a big fan of we just lost Nick. Hey Nick, call back in, bro. What are you doing? Anyways, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. We saw what happened when Carson Barnhart was at right tackle, right? You don't really want to put a guard at tackle. But I guess maybe in case of emergency, it could happen. We'll see what happens there. If we look at the depth chart, the backup is Jeffrey Percy behind Andrew Gentry. So maybe Jeffrey Percy can step up and hold the position down. We'll find out. Hopefully we don't have to move Jeff Percy from right guard because he is an all Big Ten level guard. So we'll see what we got there. And then let's give a shout out to our new member.
Yeah,
Chris,
let's go.
What's up, brother? Appreciate you joining the community. We added members about a month and a half ago. We are already up to 37 members, guys.
Jeez.
37. We appreciate that.
Has joined the Leaders and Best Coalition, which is our introductory membership. And folks, even at the introductory membership, you get the badge. You get a shitload of emojis, including the fan favorite Ohio State last 3 years emoji and the Connor Stallions emoji. So you've got that. You've also, obviously you can go up from there, but even at that level, you get your name. You see all these people behind in the ticker. You get your name in that too. And we do try to prioritize all members in various ways. So even at the Leaders and Best $2.99, it supports the channel, it supports us, and it's great stuff. And more looks like we just got a gifted membership too.
I was just gonna
MVP Moose.
So our boy Moose, who's essentially the Oprah of the channel. You get a membership, you get a membership, you get a membership, and you get a membership. Even if you're an Ohio State fan, you might get a membership.
That's right.
Moose don't care. He just gives them to everybody. So we appreciate Moose. Moose is always coming through. Never underestimate or never think Moose is not about to drop some memberships on somebody. He's like Santa Claus. He's giving Christmas gifts to everybody. So all right. Hey, Moose is saying I just said that. Shout out to Aaron Taylor, who also became a member last show. So shout out to you, bro. We appreciate it. Thanks for joining the community. And let's get to our boy Nick. What's up, man? Why are you dropping out of the line, bro?
I was having some issues with my Wi-Fi. I was connected to Wi-Fi, and then it started cutting out. We got a storm coming through here, so I'm
I went through that Tuesday, dude.
Right now. Stay safe, buddy.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. I think I don't think we're supposed to have any crazy storms. It looks like it's kind of passing now. So, but anyway, yeah. The first point, loved your guys' video you did with. Now I'm blanking on his name. The Texas guy,
Matt Miller.
Yeah. That was a great video. An interesting thing I wanted to point out. I've been hearing a little bit of I don't know if I'd call it concern, but I think questioning the offensive line coming into this year is fine. But I will say if there's one school that you kind of should just assume the offensive line is going to be good. I mean, it's Michigan, obviously. And then not only that, but they've recruited the position. I don't know. Would you guys say? I think they probably recruited offensive line better than almost any position.
Oh, good question. I thought you were going to say better than anybody. I was like, well, there's some teams that get elite talent, but they don't develop them. But like Ohio State, not to throw too many shots. Shout out to Doreen, by the way. Shout out to Doreen. Thank you. I appreciate you. But no, I'm thinking, man. It's a good question.
Maybe tight ends. Maybe
tight
ends for sure. Yeah, we're giving it to tight ends, especially now with Andrew Olish, Brady Prescorn, Dean and Zach Marshall, Dean and Tocanelli.
Running backs have been solid. Donovan Edwards.
Yeah, but this year's running back class isn't on the level of a Jordan Marshall. Although Jasper Parker's looking good. No bull.
He's looking good.
Yeah, he is, dude. I would say so. Anyone? So this would be a great time to plug this. Pardon me, Nick. Let me plug this. But anyone who's new watching the channel, we got over 250 people watching on multiple platforms. We appreciate all of you guys checking out the show. Starting when high school football season begins, I will be doing a weekly segment called Future Blue Stock Report. We will be covering all the recruits week to week. all the commits week to week to the Michigan program. We will keep an eye on them. We will keep an eye on their progress, from Carter Smith to Donovan Johnson to all the players we want to be aware of. So be on the lookout for that starting when high school ball kicks off. We will be on top of that. Looking forward to that. But yeah, I mean, I would say, to your point, Nick, offensive line, tight end, running back is deep. Fuck it. Quarterback, Brady Hart, Jaden. I mean, I'll be honest, man, we're recruiting at a high level at a lot of spots. There's a few positions like corner that it could be better. The defensive line's been good. I mean, we've been, linebacker right now, we're taking a bit of a hit, but but yeah, I will put it up there though. It's top 3, no question.
I'm just not concerned about it. An interesting point. If people are really going to focus on like, oh my gosh, they lost, which they did. They lost a ton on the offensive line to the NFL draft. But like, if that's going to be a major focus, I also think it's worth pointing out that like last year, for the first like 7 weeks of the season, like there was a couple weeks, like maybe weeks 3 or 4, I can't remember exactly, but like the offensive line could have gone one of two ways. It could have turned into a shit show. Like the offensive line got a lot better when they shifted Carson Barnhart from tackle to guard. And that's why here's the other funny thing too, is like people, well, JJ, they took the ball out of his hands in the Penn State game. These dumb, I don't want to cuss too much, but like these idiots
here, bro, go for it.
These dumb motherfuckers, dude, like they're out here like saying they took the ball out of JJ's hands. That must mean he can't throw. For any of you stupid fucks, including in the chat, do you watch film?
Yeah.
Like Stop Robinson was fucking up our offensive line. They could not block him, and Carson Barnhart was getting his lunch handed to him. They could not pass pro at all. Right. And Sharon Moore figured that out after like 2 or 3 offensive possessions, and he said, fuck it, we're just going to bully ball them because they're still undersized on their defensive line, and they couldn't handle it. So that's what they were doing as far as the game plan. It had nothing to do with that they didn't trust JJ to throw. That's such a stupid-ass narrative that I've heard way too much of. Anyway, sorry.
No, you're right. Well,
Go on,
I want to address this because I agree with you, and I know that JJ did feel some self-doubt, and he said that publicly. But Sharon Moore sat him down and said, like, look, you're a little bit banged up. Number 1, number 2, Drew Aller couldn't hit the broadside of a freaking barn because of the pressure that the defense is bringing on him. So when you're in a situation when you've completely neutralized and taken the balls away from the offense, number 1, and I mean that in terms of the football and also the metaphorical balls of the offense, in both, I mean it both ways. And then on the other side, your run is effective with an 8 lineman set, Donovan Edwards going outside zone to the left for like fucking 20 yards. Why do you need to pass? They did call an RPO, which JJ decided to run it himself. They called another pass, which got called back. So it's not like they didn't call any passes, but just from a perspective of why would you risk it? Because, as I think it was Bo or somebody said, maybe it was Woody Hayes, for a shout out to the Buckeyes in here, Doreen, new YouTube member. 3 things can happen if you pass and 2 of them are bad. Well, if the other team can't do shit, and you're going 20 yards on an outside zone to the left, and 8 lineman sets are successful, and they still can't stop it, why would you pass?
Yeah.
I was okay with that.
Let me also just say, like, shout out to Sharon Moore for adapting and evolving in game, identifying. Because remember, this is when Jim Harbaugh just got suspended hours before the game, right? So Sharon's taken the head coaching position. And he makes a call in game, great adaptation, and because of that, we were able to win the game. If he does not make that change, then we may not come out with the victory, and that may hurt us in getting a national title. I mean, that really saved our season, So I'm really, I mentioned it in Wednesday's preview show about just Sharon Moore's ability to adapt and evolve in game. I'm hoping it's obviously a small sample size. We've only gotten to see him coach 4 games, but it's a good early indicator that we have a coach who's not stubborn. How many times we watch football games where they don't adapt or they don't evolve, where they stick to what they're doing?
Look at Riley. Look at Riley. I'm trying to get Tim riled up. I'm sure he's listening.
Yeah. Oh, he'll be confident now.
What I
insists on passing the ball, even if it isn't. Like Sharon Moore, like TJ said, Sharon Moore had to literally was adapting to being a head coach, OC, and O-line coach. During that hour, he had to realize, like, oh shit, I better wear this headset. I better get more plugged into certain things because all of a sudden you're running three different position. You're running head coach. Very difficult job. OC, most difficult, position, most difficult coaching job, and then O-line, the most difficult position group to coach. So he was adapting all that. Like, kudos to him, man, for winning that game and winning it in the way that he did in Happy Valley. Which, by the way, we've lost a lot of games at Happy Valley.
Shit,
it's
a hard place
really
to win, bro.
tough place to play. Like the enormity of that, like. I know people got on him for crying. I would have. I mean, that was emotional. Like, all the things that he had to juggle and the fact that they won that game like that and the team came together, regardless of the situation, outside.
Yeah. Some people thought of course, rival fans thought the crying was corny afterwards. I mean, they can think whatever they want. I just think the dude doesn't give a shit. Like, he goes like, there's doing what it takes to win a football game, and then there's a whole nother level. Oh, let me run it 30 straight damn times. Like, we don't. That's a whole nother level. And then he beats James Franklin's ass. I don't know if you guys saw. There's like a video clip post game right after James Franklin shakes Sharon's hand. He goes off to the side and he's just like staring around like a lost puppy. Pathetic. Anyway, I'm not going to go on a Franklin rant. You guys already know how I feel about that clown.
But like I agree with you on Sharon Moore, the post game reaction, because I mean I think the reality is, one, Sharon's a passionate dude, bro, and like you got to remember, and the whole team, and of course you remember, we all remember, but like the team had their back against the wall. Everybody was trying, the rivals or different fan bases were trying to call them out. It was us against the fucking world, bro. And there was a lot of pressure on the team, and they were in a hostile environment on the road. They found out about Jim Harbaugh 3 hours before the damn game because the NCAA or the Big Ten was on some bullshit. And look, man, that was an emotional ass experience. And then they came away with a victory against all odds, and then the way they did it, I mean, Blake Corum playing with all the – I mean, we all saw – what did Blake Corum look like after the game? That kid left everything on the field.
Oh, yeah.
Blood, sweat, and tears, bro. One of the most famous pictures in Michigan history was after that game. So, like, yeah, man. I mean, like, the reality is our season was saved that day because of Sharon Moore's ability to adapt and evolve. We found ourselves winning a national title that year. And the whole team – and not only that entire situation, I'll be honest, got the team to be one, bro. Like, I mean, they were already one. They've always like, and when I mean one, I mean like one unit, like all in, bro. When everyone's against you, dude, like you have nothing but each other, and that was just the reality of it. That was we just saw the emotional response post game because it was so raw and so like when you put a camera in front of somebody post game and they're just, I mean, imagine everyone else. We'd all be full of some kind of emotion, whether we're crying or not. But like, that's a big ass victory in a big ass moment. So I mean, hey, I'm not mad at Sharon. I don't take it like I see Ryan Day crying all the time. That's a different situation, calling out Lou Holtz and shit.
Hey, yeah, I want to know where Lou Holtz is right now.
Calling out.
Legend has it they're still looking for Lou Holtz.
I'm actually feeling bad right now because Doreen just became a member, so I got to be mindful, and I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah, be nice to Doreen. Yeah.
I just thought that. By the way, that whole whatever Ohio State fans want to call it, that whole Ryan Day thing, doing that. I mean, the lack of self-awareness. There's no way he didn't know that Notre Dame was. I'm pretty sure the position they were actually missing on that last possession was a D tackle, right? Wasn't that the 11th guy? They didn't have all their D linemen on that play. It wasn't just that it was 10 guys. I'm pretty sure they were missing a fucking D tackle.
Yeah, I thought it was a defensive lineman. I don't know what it was though.
Okay, well, yeah, but that's a huge. I mean, so I don't know. Maybe that's Ryan Day's definition of toughness, like only being able to barely move the ball a few inches when the other team has less players than you on the field. I didn't understand that.
I'll say this too, though. I may even get some shit from our own community right now. Hey, a win's a win. They got it. Like at the end of the day, that's on the opponent for not having their shit together. And they got it. They got the victory. Now the reaction afterwards was one thing, but hey, they got the dub. I mean, if it happened to us, we would say, like we would be calling, we'd say a win's a win. Doesn't matter if we win by an inch or a mile, right? But but the reaction's the real problem with the post game of that. So that's really where the real issue is.
Yeah, for sure. By the way, too, I was thinking about this, and I try to not think about it too much because it just makes me angry. But can you imagine some of the players that Don Brown had, some of the talents? Can you imagine some of those guys in this defensive scheme today? A guy I was thinking of specifically that I would have let. Now, we all love Junior Colson, but a dude that I think would have gone down as like, I won't go Brandon Graham level defensive player, but dude, Cam McGrone, can you imagine him in this system? I mean, he would easily be a first round pick. In fact, I think at the end of his recruiting cycle coming out of high school, I think he actually was a 5-star. But I was looking up highlights of him the other day, and I was like, oh my God, can you imagine him and Mike Donna and Jesse Minter's scheme? That would have been unreal. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, it's a shame, look at, Cam McGrone or like, Nico Collins left early. They left early the COVID year to go into the draft early. It's a shame we didn't get to see them their next season. He was, I think on one service, they had him ranked as a 5-star or something along those lines. I think it might've been 247 actually, but yeah, I mean, it's a shame that we couldn't see these kids. I mean, imagine Nico Collins' his final year at Michigan, right? I mean, that would have been amazing. I guarantee that 2020 season would have been better if some of those kids didn't, make the decision to not come back. But yeah, I mean, look, I'll tell you, imagine a Jabril Peppers in this defense.
Yeah,
shit, bro. Imagine Rashawn Gary if he had this defensive system instead of the Don Brown. I mean, they put Rashawn Gary as a close end. Chase Winovich was the pass rusher. They didn't.
Josh Uche, Kwity Paye, all those boys.
Yeah, I mean, if we had those talents in this defense, I mean, wow. I mean, one I always think about, and I know like some people are like, they're not as high on. I was high on Jabril Peppers, bro. I mean, he was a special player. He really was. For Michigan, he was a very special player. In the NFL, he's as athletic as all the rest, so he's not as dominant as he was in Michigan. But at Michigan, he was special as hell.
Oh yeah. Now, one thing I do want to point out, the Michigan Tech, the Texas offensive line, there is a chance, or I mean, good luck blocking. My thinking behind that is like, yeah, they might be one of the best offensive lines. I think LSU is supposed to have a really good offensive line too. So maybe Texas won't be one, but good luck blocking Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant the entire game. Like I get, it's one thing to have confidence in your offensive line, but like I think it's really important to point out like it's not being a homer at all. Like Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant, that is a totally different animal dealing with those guys for 4 quarters. I don't think Texas will be able to hold them off. And like I've said before, one of the reasons why I think Quinn Ewers is going to throw multiple pick sixes, he does well under a blitz, but like simulated pressures, like if going up against a defense that can give you tons of different looks where you don't know where the pressure is coming from, he does really struggle. Gets pretty bad happy feet. That's when he becomes vulnerable. If it's a straight blitz look and he kind of knows what's coming, then he's really good. He's actually pretty good statistically against that. But yeah, but if you listen to Wink Martindale, I mean, pretty sure he said something along the line like some of their defensive looks that they give are basically like positionless. So good luck with that, I guess, Texas.
So I mean, I'll say this. I mean, look, we probably have the best defensive tackle duo this year, just like they had the best defensive tackle duo last season. We have arguably likely the best defensive tackle duo. And Matt Miller even said the weak point on their offensive line will be their interior. It's not their bookend tackles. So I agree with you. I think Kenneth Grant and Mason Grant, this is going to be a problem. And when you push the pocket, it wreaks havoc on an offense, and it makes offenses unbalanced, and then they have to change or make variations to their playbook. And Matt Miller also said Quinn Ewers, one of his weaknesses is at times he has trouble seeing the field, making his reads properly. So if Michigan can get pressure, which I do think they will, I do think they'll probably throw Josiah Stewart up the A gap or something along those lines. They're going to figure out a way to avoid their strengths. They're going to definitely attack their weaknesses, and it's going to be a chess match. And I fully expect Michigan to get pressure on Quinn Ewers. Now, the question is going to be, will it be enough to throw Quinn Ewers off? Because I think we would all agree Quinn Ewers is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the country this year. I mean, that's not, we saw last year. He was arguably one of the better quarterbacks in the nation last year. I expect him to be, listen, Texas lost a lot of weapons, but they are reloading and they recruit as well as anybody, especially at the skill position. So, how many times do they have a star running back? I mean, like Matt said, they have 1,000-yard running back every season. We do too, by the way. But the point is, I expect them to reload. I just think Michigan's defense is going to be a problem for Texas. I don't think it's going to be, and that's the thing too, is what Wink Martindale is going to bring to the table in terms of stunts and blitz disguises and things of that nature. These offensive linemen have never seen that. They've never seen an NFL caliber defensive scheme where now our strength in previous years was our disguises and coverage. Well, Wink Martindale and Lamar Morgan are bringing that. That's transitioning to this defense now. But now Wink Martindale has more disguises and stunts in terms of the defensive or the front seven. So that's going to be interesting to see that translate. And now, in my opinion, I think our defense is going to be more well-rounded, and it's going to be even more difficult to predict for an offense.
Yeah, and one thing I'll say about the Texas's O-line, four of them are returning, and the guy who is going to be taking over is 330 pounds or something like that. But remember also that ball security was an issue. They had 9 fumbles, and that's with the team that they had last year. And they are replacing pieces this year. So ball security is going to be a problem in this game because Michigan's defense is really good at causing disruption at every position on that offense, all the way from Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant to Will Johnson in the secondary, who is pretty much good for one interception a game almost. I mean, the fact that he was able to go against the best wide receiver in football last year and pick him off, pretty impressive. There's a reason College Football 25 listed him as the best player in college football. So I think there's going to be disruptions and issues at every position.
Let me respond. Hey, Nick, let me respond to Steve here. Looks like a Buckeye fan here. So let's just get real here.
He is a Buckeye. This is Steve,
yeah. So let's just get here right. So we're talking about a national championship defense that is returning close to all of its cornerstone players, from Kenneth Grant, Mason Graham, Will Johnson, Makari Page. We're upgrading at linebacker with Jay-Sean Barnum, Ernest Hausman. And let's not forget, both of our edges are returning in Josiah Stewart and Derek Moore. So we are as loaded as last year, and these kids are now a year older. We fully expect that this channel, for this defense to actually be better than last year. And last year's defense was the best defense in the nation. So if you want to say the 85 Bears, I'm going to tell you right now, this defense is going to shut people down. And you'll find out in November, my friend. And after we beat you in November, you'll be looking for a new head coach. But I appreciate you watching the channel and commenting. We always appreciate.
Where did he get the 85 Bears from? You were because they were dominant. Steve, TJ was listing. I hope he's listening right now. He was just listing names. That's all he was doing. And then you got to go throw in this stupid ass 85 Bears reference. No one was even talking about that shit.
Listen, I am saying our defense is going to be dominant. I think our defense is going to be top 10 for sure, possibly top 5, maybe number 1. And I do think our defense could be better than last year. So there are going to be, a lot of rivals. I'm sure you know this, Nick. They think we lost so much in the draft that we can't possibly be as good as we were last year. But what they fail to realize is our best players, the only players that were truly major contributors on defense that we lost were Junior Colson and Chris Jenkins. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Chris Jenkins was not our best defensive lineman. And we have multiple, like our best defensive linemen are returning, and Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham. And
both
on top
first
of that,
rounders.
Yeah, right. And
Will
both
Johnson,
our,
first rounder.
Both our edges are returning, and our linebacker core, even though we lost Junior Colson, is guys. Jay-Sean Barnum, Ernest Hausman are going to be upgrades from Junior Colson and Michael Barrett. Like that's what people are not understanding. Like a lot of the rivals who are not familiar with our team do not understand this. And yeah, we did lose Rod Moore. If we had Rod Moore, I'd be even more brolic about this. I'd be even more confident in my situation here. But I'm gonna tell you, we also upgraded, in my opinion, with Amir Hall from Josh Wallace, who was our number 2 corner. Now that is going to be, I'll be fully transparent. That is something we're going to find out together because there is an unknown there. I am assuming that. That's an assumption. I don't disagree. But I do I do believe in him as a player. And I do know he is more athletic, and I think he can fill that Josh Wallace role. So we're going to find out.
And you also have to remember that Ernest, for people who don't really get, I mean, technically Ernest Hausman was not a starter, but if you look at his numbers, he was kind of like a 1B. Because based on the amount that he was rotated in, especially towards the end of the year.
Yeah, and the thing about Ernest Hausman that like a lot of people might not know is, all right, so he transferred from Nebraska. He was considered one of the best freshman linebackers in the nation. And we got him. He's already been in the system for a year. Jay-Sean Barnum was Pro Football Focus's number 1 linebacker. We got him from Maryland. We're going to be a problem, guys. Like, so any of the rivals who want to, think that our defense is not going to be where it was last year, I'm going to let you know it will be. The question is going to be our quarterback and our offense, and is it going to be able to transition? Can we play at a high enough level to be a college football playoff contender and a Big Ten championship contender? So we'll find out. We'll find out together, because I will also agree. I cannot say for certain that our quarterback play is going to be at a high enough level to where we can be what we all hope we can be. It might very well be, but I can't say I know. It's an uncertainty right now.
It's just so asinine to for this guy to. This Buckeye homer to question being confident in this defense when you have high NFL draft picks. Like today, they would be drafted high in the NFL at every single level of the defense. That's just a reality. He might not like it, but that's a reality.
Yeah.
You could make an argument if Rod Moore was healthy, you'd have about a first rounder at every level of that defense. Maybe Rod Moore wouldn't be, but I think that's more just because of the position he plays. Safeties usually aren't super high draft picks. That's more about the position than the talent like Rod Moore. So that's just ridiculous, man. Stop being a homer, Steve.
Hey, it's all good. I mean, listen, Steve loves his team. I can appreciate that. I'm not mad at Steve. And I'll just say this. You mean like your tears the last 3 years, bro? I mean, come on. Hopefully you're not one of those waiting for the hammer. And if you are, I hope you stay tuned to our show, because we got a present for you. But I hope you have a good Thursday, Steve, and I appreciate you watching the channel.
We will have an emergency broadcast when the official news drops on the NCAA.
And we got a present for all the rivals, too. But
yeah. Yep.
All right, Nick, what else you got for us? Because we got other callers on the line, and we also got some new members and some super chats we want to get to.
Yep.
So if you got one last question, let us know.
I'll just wrap up with this. So guys behind our starting 4 on the defensive line to keep in mind, Rayshawn Benny. He's going to be a big-time player. He came on strong last year. I know he got injured, but pretty sure he's supposed to be good. I've been hearing good things about Enow Etta. He's in the interior of the defensive line, right?
Yeah, he'll be playing anywhere from 3 tech to 4. He'll be playing the Chris Jenkins role. So Enow Etta has had a lot of good buzz out of camp. And you're right, Rayshawn Benny, he's a dog. He's our 3rd defensive tackle. He'll be rotating. He's going to be a problem. TJ Guy is stepping up. I fully expect TJ Guy to be the next name on the defensive line that people know. This kid is going to be a problem. He's looking in spring ball. He has gotten a lot of buzz, and everyone is saying he's next. And I do believe that. I've been following him since we got him out of Massachusetts. I'm a fan of his game. He's legit, man.
And then lastly, I've heard some pretty good rumblings. Not a whole lot, but I don't know if you've heard anything about Cam Brandt or Breon Ishmael. Do you expect anything out of those guys here?
I don't know. I mean, we'll see if I don't know.
He'll be deep in the Brandt's going to be deep in the 5 tech, I think. And who's the other one? Ishmael.
Jameer Ishmael. Yeah, I don't know. I think they'll be just in the depth. I don't know if they'll get a lot of playing time. We'll see. It's just the reality is, they're going to run about 8 to 10 defensive linemen. I don't know if they crack that top 8, to be honest. We'll see. They might get some run, especially, to be honest too, if we have some games where we have the lead in the 4th or the 3rd and it's a big enough lead, you might see them get in. We'll find out. They're players to at least be aware of, but I'm not expecting major contribution from them.
All right. Well, I've taken up way too much of your guys' time.
You're good. Hey, you're good, Nick. You always appreciate
YouTube
it, man.
member, we love you. You the super chats, the YouTube memberships. We appreciate all the support.
Heck yeah, man. It's fun. You guys are great. Thanks. See ya.
Yeah, thank you, man. All right, let's give a shout out to Doreen. She didn't get a proper introduction to the channel. We appreciate you, Doreen. Thank you for becoming a member. That's huge. And, we really appreciate you not only watching the show, but joining the community. Thank you. Our boy Moose, Santa Moose, giving out gifts. Just like, who is Oprah? I don't even know. I know who Moose is, though. And Moose is handing those things out like their presents. We appreciate it. We have another member joining the channel, Big Troy Wilbur. We appreciate you, Troy, for joining the channel, becoming a part of the community at Michigan Football, the voice of college football. It is appreciated, man. And, we also have Manimal Matt, my guy Manimal. Thank you for joining the channel and the community. I don't know what tiers these guys are, but if you happen to be on those who stay or higher, we have a monthly hangout that we do at the end of the month where it's just a VIP hangout. And our last one went great. We're going to have another one. We will announce the date probably in, I'd say, what, John, about a week and a half to 2 weeks.
We'll put out a doodle, but anybody who was gifted a membership by Moose is automatically in the those who stay tier, and anybody in the those who stay tier or up automatically get access to our monthly member hangout. So we're going to have a crap load of people probably in this. I'm looking for potentially a different venue online to do it in because we have a 10 max. So we'll look into that and how we'll support that for this. We may have to stagger it. There's things we'll talk about internally.
I think we should use that platform you were talking about previously, but we'll talk about that more behind the scenes.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah. But thank you guys. Yeah. And we're up to what now? 3 or 4 Buckeye paying YouTube members. That just speaks to the community just growing, not just with Michigan fans.
Yeah, my guy Phillips, a Buckeye, and what's cool is, and he even jumped into the hangout. He even told us he just appreciates our channel because it keeps him tapped in on Michigan, and we appreciate that because look, we will talk a little shit to the Buckeyes, but the reality is we respect you guys. We understand we're talking LeBron, Kobe, Jordan here. Okay, we're talking degrees of separation of greatness, elite talents. We understand this. You guys are top dogs. We're top dogs, which is why we don't like each other. When you have alphas in the room, there's, we bump shoulders. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. We're obviously rivals. We want to beat you in November. But at the end of the day, if you weren't our rivals, college football might be a little less fun, and that's not fun for anybody. So we appreciate the rivalry and appreciate you guys contributing to the channel. Buckeyes are always welcome here. We just got to keep it respectful. Them's the rules. Our boy Moose.
And real quick, thank you, Mark, by the way, for responding personally to the YouTube members that just joined. Mark is responding to each one, which is really cool.
Oh, I didn't even see that. That was cool. Thank you, Mark. All right, Moose. So he goes, TJ and John, I'm feeling very confident in landing Andrew Marsh. Do you guys think we have a shot at Babalola and Owasu Boateng? Okay. Babalola, things are trending well. Things are trending so well that there are some in the industry, not me. This is not from me or anyone that I know or my sources. They feel a commitment might come sooner than later. Not saying that he's going to commit or he's on the verge of committing, although I guess that is kind of what they're saying too. It may happen. Michigan is pushing very hard right now, very aggressively. We had that 2 weeks ago that Michigan is all in on top targets. And Boateng was one of them. We've been giving you guys updates every show on Boateng. Michigan is going very aggressively on Boateng. There was a Rivals National Insider who just put out an article today. It's a free article, which is why I'm going to say it publicly. He says he believes Michigan's leading. Sam Webb also talked about today on the roundup. It was Publix, which is why I'll bring it to the table. He feels we have the edge on Babalola right now, and we'll stay cautiously optimistic on it. I know what I know is that Michigan has been aggressively pursuing Babalola. They had a virtual with him about 2 weeks ago, and it was an extremely good virtual. They made They made some good progress. They're going aggressively with him, and they've been in contact, obviously. And there's been a lot of reciprocation, and things seem to be trending pretty good for Michigan right now. But also, again, a word of caution. I don't know when he's going to commit. There is some buzz that it might be sooner than later. And not what I do know is he is planning to commit prior to or at the end of August was his initial idea, but there is some buzz he might be moving it up. We'll see. I don't know. I can't give you a date. We'll just have to see if it happens. But if it does happen, if he does move his commitment date up sooner than the end of August, that's a great sign for Michigan. And I'll tell you right now, the way things are trending, even if it is at the end of August, Michigan's making a move right now. So we'll keep you guys tapped in. We'll have an update next Tuesday. I'm sure. Well, hopefully we'll have an update by next Tuesday. I'm sure we will. Things seem to be moving quickly there. We'll see what we can get from it. But yeah, Boateng's going well. And then Owasu Boateng. I'm sorry, I said Boateng previously. I meant Babalola. Too many B's in the last names. Owasu Boateng. It's a neck and neck race. But as I mentioned earlier in the show, he's going to wait till like National Signing Day. He's going to still visit other teams. If Michigan can get him on an official or on another visit to a game this season, that's going to be big. That's going to be telling. The next move for Michigan is to get him back on a visit for a game day experience. I do think they're trying to push him for barbecue at the big house right now, but we'll see if that happens. If not, a game day visit will be great because we have a lot of home games this year, and there are some key matchups, right? There's some big matchups this year. That'll be great to get him on campus for a game atmosphere and all that. So we'll see. We'll obviously keep everybody tapped in on that recruitment as well. I will say this, Babalola, I feel more confident about at this moment. It's not that I don't feel confident about Owasu Boateng. It's just I know we are in for a long recruitment. He's not making a decision anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm going to say Babalola winds up going Michigan and Owasu Boateng winds up going Notre Dame, based on my reading of the tea leaves and what's happening. I mean, Michigan's doing an all-out push for Babalola. Owasu Boateng, from his public tweets that he gave after the recent flip of Ivan Taylor, he's looking to me, he's looking Notre Dame, just based on that and some of the other things I've read. So that would be my prediction right now, but we'll see because things can change on a dime.
And Notre Dame's recruiting class is having some issues right now. And if that continues to have issues, and remember this too, if they have problems on the field this year or they do not play to the expectation of what they're expected to this year, that could favor Michigan in a big way. So I really think you're going to see one of the Boateng's probably going to be a situation where results on the field is going to matter a lot. So we'll find out. We'll all pay attention to that one together. And B-Dub, you are up next, but let us get to one more super chat. Our boy Justin, $5 super chat. What about Brooks Barr? Is he playing offensive line or defensive line? Brooks Barr is playing defensive tackle. He's in the 3-tech role, defensive line. I think you might be thinking of who's the defensive lineman who let's see. Oh, Dominic Gudas. He transitioned from defensive line to offensive line. I think you might be thinking about him. Let's see. Is there another defensive lineman to transition? I'm looking right now. No, not that I can. I thought there was one more, but I don't see it on my depth chart right now. So no, he's playing 3-tech defensive line right now. We'll see. We'll find out in camp. That's the thing. So fall camp will be beginning probably it's usually about a week into August. So we got about a month, and then we'll get some things will leak from fall camp. We'll keep everybody updated on that, and we'll see where it goes. Yep. But all right, let's get to our next caller, John. It's B-Dub. He's been waiting patiently as hell. What's up, bro? Can't hear you, bud.
Can't hear you. Uh-oh.
Does this work?
Yep.
Yeah. Sipping too much of that Crown Royal, huh?
There you go. Cheers.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah, this is my custom Yeti mug.
There you go. That's a good cup, bro.
You got something for us?
Yeah. So what's up?
Yeah,
bud?
no. I know I seen last time I gave Lamar a bit of a rough time when it came to if he's going to nail into these guys, right? So obviously he got Ivan Taylor, so that was pretty big. I was just listening to a Notre Dame big podcast on YouTube today just to see what they were saying. They're like, I don't understand. Like, what happened? Like, why was this or that? Like, they seemed a bit dumbfounded, but it was pretty easy to see And then I guess Sam Webb just emphasized like we were one of the only teams to see him as a free safety. Like other teams were, because of his IQ, were like, could you do cornerback? Could you play cornerback? I think it maybe be more valuable. I don't know, but Michigan seemed pretty adamant. Like, no, you're gonna play safety. We see that. It makes sense, and so that was impressive by Lamar.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, it's funny. See, I told you, man, I was like, we got to be patient. I told you, bro, I was like, we got to be patient. And like, I'll be honest, like, I didn't see Ivan Taylor getting swung the way he got swung. I mean, obviously, we were aware he visited. We were aware that Michigan was attempting to make the flip. But I mean, look, there were other players that I thought were higher flip candidates than Ivan Taylor. And the fact that, and, just like with Julius Holly, there have been some recruitments, Julius Holly, Ivan Taylor, that the staff has really closed quickly. I mean, and shout out to the staff, the recruiting strategy, and the entire recruiting department for pulling this off, because those are two major gets. And listen, Lamar Morgan, bro, you may have to give him a handwritten letter, because he's about to get Jaden Sanders, my guy.
I saw that. I saw it. I saw the predictions, everything. Barbecue's coming up. He wants to probably do it right after the barbecue,
right?
Not beforehand. We'll see.
Right.
So but that's good. That's a good sign that he's got a contingency plan on that aspect, because obviously that's more of a little bit of a work in progress, right? Like he's got to put on probably maybe 20 pounds maybe to be adequate at the position. But okay, so he plays sophomore year instead of freshman. So instead of Sharmani Earl sort of just going in there and starting right away. So.
Yeah, but let's not forget, it took Will Johnson almost the entire season to get acclimated. He's an elite talent, right? A cornerback position is such a tough position for a freshman to contribute. Not that it's impossible, because sometimes it happens throughout college football, right? But it is one of the most difficult positions for a player to transition from high school to college level, just like it is from the college level to the NFL. It's a very tough. It's why sometimes it takes people 3 years in the NFL to transition to that position. Like a Darius Slay, for example, if anyone remembers, it follows the Lions at all. But the point is, like, there's other corners that Michigan's pursuing right now. I mean, I'm sure you're aware of Adonis Curry at Michigan's right now, Texas A&M corner. They're trying to get him up for the barbecue at the Big House right now. We'll see if they can do that. I don't know if anyone has seen, and maybe we'll begin doing this next week. The visitor list for barbecue at the Big House is getting insane. Like, we're talking major recruits, especially for the 26 class. So maybe next week we'll begin tapping on that, because recruiting is going to get a little quiet here for a few weeks, and it's going to pick up at the end of the month. Although, if the rumors might be true, maybe next week won't be so quiet. There's some rumors out there that Michigan might be more than Philip Wright in the next week. So we'll see.
I saw that. I have questions about a lot of things. I guess.
All right.
So I heard about the Philip Wright, but today Sam Webb brought up a good question, which I totally did not think about at all. Was the Jamar Chase situation?
Right.
So Philip Wright's from Louisiana, and apparently Michigan was trending. I didn't follow back then, but Michigan was trending between them and who was the other one? It was another team there. TCU.
Louisiana?
It was TCU.
Oh, okay.
It was TCU or something, and Michigan that was going that day. It was TCU. Yeah, for Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
And it went all the way down into Jamar Chase didn't sign until signing day, apparently. And it went all the way through the fall. And apparently Michigan thought, okay. And like even some guy interviewed him like a few weeks before, like a month or something before signing day. And he was like, yeah, like who do you think are the top candidates? He's like, it's probably Michigan, TCU, and that was before LSU got into it, I guess, at the end of the month there. And all of a sudden, LSU swoops in, flips them right before National Signing Day. And I was like, oh, crap, dude. And they had been trending on Jamar Chase the entire year, apparently, and working on him. So that's one thing they say Sam Webb was thinking about with like, oh, Michigan gives them the attention early, and then all of a sudden, maybe you got to keep working on the kid to be like, hey, we got to try to get him signed to come December.
So the concern is if Philip Wright has the senior season like we think he might, because he's a 10'4", 600-meter guy. He's extremely gifted and athletic. I'm excited for him to join the class. I'm going to wait for my recruiting breakdown on Saturday when he commits to Michigan. I'm going to have my thumbnail is going to have a little specialty to it. Take a look at my thumbnails moving forward. I'm trying to make them a little unique. And, but yeah, LSU is a problem. It's like, look, there's certain schools like LSU, Ohio State, Texas. I would say USC, but they seem to have a recruiting issue right now. But there's certain schools where, man, they can get these kids that are in state last minute. They don't have to put all the work in for a year and a half or 2 years or whatever. They can
OSU does that, or they
I know.
try.
No, they do though. I mean, listen, they do. They used to slow play kids all the time out of their own state, and then Michigan started capitalizing. But still, regardless, the point is, there are schools where they can literally offer a kid, and this happened with Ethan Burke. We talked about this yesterday with Matt Miller. Ethan Burke, 3 days before National Signing Day, this kid's a freak. If we had Ethan Burke right now, oh my God, our defense would be even nastier. He's going to be an NFL draft pick. 3 days before National Signing Day, they swoop him up. They didn't recruit him all year. It's like that. And so LSU has that pull. SEC school. There's something about these Southern schools and Ohio State where, like, these kids just have these allegiances where Michigan, for example, if Michigan doesn't recruit a kid all year and then they try to offer him a week or two before, you know, we're not just talking about like some 3 stars, even though Philip Wright is a 3-star, but we're talking about like unique talents. These schools could just pull these kids like it's nothing. I don't know. It's crazy. I think a lot of it has to do with maybe some financial compensation, but we'll see. We'll see if Michigan.
Maybe it's like the lost father or something, like the father that just, you know, abandoned his child and decided to come home last minute. Like, you're like, oh, daddy. It's like, but I've been in your life for a whole year, my man. Like, really?
Yeah. No, it's also difficult. I mean, look, Jamar Chase specifically used that example. You know, I think he kind of knew the LSU situation was going to be special that year. Yeah, there's probably we can't substantiate it. There's probably money of some variety, McDonald's bags of some variety. And look, he saw what Michigan did with Donovan Peoples-Jones, with Tariq Black, with others. It kind of wasted their talent a little bit. And wide receiver has not been Michigan's strength with the exception of Roman Wilson and maybe a couple of others
Nico
here
Collins.
and there.
Yeah.
Nico Collins, a couple here and there. And I think he just saw the potential of Joe Burrow at LSU that season. And I mean, look, they won a natty, so.
Yeah, it worked out, and that made sense. So that was something I wasn't thinking about until he brought that.
Hey,
up.
Bull, let me hit these. Let me hit these super chats real quick. Blue Wolverine,
Thanks,
$1.
Blue.
I don't want to leave them hanging. You know, I want to give a shout out to these guys. So, Blue Wolverine, $1.99. Respectful rivals. Yeah, we appreciate the respectful rivals always.
Absolutely.
Justin coming through again. $5 super chat. We need Nathaniel Owasu Boateng teammates to keep recruiting him to Michigan. Do you guys watch Michigan hockey also, or just football? Justin, great question. First, I'll hit on the first part. For those who don't know, Owasu Boateng plays at IMG. We got Donovan Johnson at IMG. We have Caden Strayhorn at IMG. They are pushing very hard for Michigan. IMG is becoming a bit of a pipeline for Michigan. So we'll see. I mean, listen, they will. You know damn well. Caden Strayhorn, too. He's like all in on recruiting these guys. If anyone pays attention to the socials, his social media is actually hilarious. He's throwing shots at Michigan State all the time. And then do you guys watch Michigan hockey or just football? Bro, I love Michigan hockey. We're definitely going to when hockey season kicks off or during the regular season, we'll figure something out. We'll definitely be talking a little hockey. I also love Michigan basketball. We'll definitely, especially Dusty May, we're going to have little things on basketball here and there too. Especially there's going to come a point where basketball, football is going to be done. It'll be basketball season. So we'll cover that a little more. But we'll pretty much cover basketball, hockey, football. I don't know. Is there anything else, John, I'm missing? I mean, of course, if someone wins a championship, we'll bring it up maybe. But
well, even Mark Rogers will occasionally have the voice of NFL football episode and the voice of NCAA basketball episode for like the national. So we'll even on the main channel we occasionally go into other sports.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, no, Michigan hockey is the shit. And for those who don't know, Michigan hockey is the Alabama of hockey. We are the most prestigious hockey program in all of most wins, most national titles. Although that just got tied. I think Denver just tied us for national titles. But regardless, Michigan hockey is legit. We'll definitely be covering that. And they recruit at an Alabama-like level. So that's why that's fun to follow. But so anyways, B-Dub, what else you got for us, my guy?
Yeah, no. So I was in some Twitter spaces this whole week, just trying to see what people were talking about, and I was digging deeper into the recruiting side of things, especially for 2026, and also for this year. And the Babalola thing really does bother me a bit because I understand it's a big fish, and it's the first time that Michigan's technically gone after a big fish on the offensive tackle side. I think since Jake Long. Um,
No,
on the offensive tackle side, yeah.
no, they go after big fishes all the time. The problem is,
True. I guess trying, yeah, but I don't know. I like Sharon Moore. I understand like it was different under Harbaugh, and I don't know if he had all the resources and stuff. Obviously, it's different this year, so he's going for it. I just like what was concerning to me, right, is that some of the top offensive tackles in this cycle have gone to shocker Notre Dame. I've seen just some big high star dudes out of Connecticut, two guys out of Connecticut, one out of Wisconsin, big dudes, 6'7", 6'8", going Notre Dame, and I'm like, how, like where are we at in this phase? Like it hasn't changed. Newsom's still here, Sharon Moore's still here, so I understand it. Some of those might be a pipeline thing. I get that, or states and stuff, but that bothered me a bit. I was like, well, what about Michigan? I understand we have the one, right? We were trying to go for the big fish, Babalola, but I was like, we could have worked on those relationships a little better so that we weren't all reliant on the one. So that was to me. I was like, the net was. I don't know. Like, what's your thoughts?
Well, look, man. The thing about offensive tackles. So, I mean, do you follow the NFL?
Yeah.
At all? Okay, so you are aware that offensive tackle is one of the highest paid positions in the NFL.
No.
College is no different. Okay, so we're talking. These are the Ferrari. I mean, even though they're not Ferraris, they're not exotic, but like they're expensive. These are your cyber trucks. Okay, so like these things are not cheap, and so offensive tackles have a high price point. As you know, we have trouble recruiting corner, which is also a high price point position. Yep. Wide receiver is a high price point position, which is why, hey, this year though we're doing good with receiver recruiting. So what happens is these like top 100 type offensive tackles, and Babalola's a little different because we've talked about this. He's an academic kid, so he's a little different. And every now and then we'll get a top 100 guy, but you want one of these elite guys. I'm gonna tell you, these elite guys are getting like $500,000, bro. And Michigan's not highest bidder on these guys. Some of them are getting even more than that. So like the elite tackles are getting anywhere from like $350,000 to $800,000, and that's not Michigan's game. Like if you look at the elite tackles right now, you're seeing teams like Alabama, Clemson, Texas. Like David Sanders is the number one tackle in the nation. He played for Providence, the same high school as Channing Goodwin and Jaden Davis. Michigan's been recruiting. They've chilled because they know it's a bad game. Plus, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see where he ends up. But regardless, the point is like Michigan has a competitive NIL, but they are not trying to bid against themselves or be highest bidder. Like it's just not. They don't want those kids anyways because those are the kids. Like not every kid, but a lot of these kids are going to jump in the portal and look for their next pay. Or if they don't start. I'm getting paid all this money and I don't, I think, to be honest, our recruiting approach right now, in my opinion, I'm good. Like
I do see it though. I do see their motto is just nasty guys. All three of the guys are nasty. Even Babalola is a nasty guy, blocking, like taking him down on the ground, pancake stuff, like so.
Right.
I get that. It just we're O-line. You would think that would have some projection there, I guess, like some, pitch there. I get what you're saying though.
You would think if you're an offensive lineman, you want to come to Michigan. But what's crazy, and like, look, we got Avery Gash. That's a good get, man. We got Caden Strayhorn. He's top 2 center in the nation. That's a good get. But what happened was Michigan, and I don't know, this recruiting cycle was very interesting with offensive line recruiting. They narrowed their board so much that they really limited themselves, and then they struck out on like Hardy Watts. Like Hardy Watts, they struck out on a couple other kids, and then now it's really just Andrew Babalola. And if Andrew Babalola, if say we hypothetically do not get Andrew Babalola, though they are looking to get 3 offensive linemen in this class. Now remember, this last class we had a really good haul. We brought in a lot of kids last class, so Andrew Sprague was a big deal. My guy from Ohio, Josh Hamilton. Yeah, dude, last class was a very strong offense. We'll be fine, dude. Like, offensive line recruiting is not an issue. And remember this, too. We have grabbed an offensive lineman in the portal every year. Next portal
that's true.
Yeah,
that is true. You grab one, that's just a for sure. Like, even though this one we probably should have grabbed the tackle, but obviously that's a huge high position, right?
Well,
like a high
Jim
price
Hartwell,
position, and then who's out there?
The value players were in the best portal session is the first portal window. That's the best one. And
in December, right? Yeah.
And unfortunately, we didn't know if JJ was staying or Jim was staying or what was going on. There was a contract negotiation going on. Then Jim wanted to do his NFL thing, and you also had the NCAA thing. So there was a lot going on, man. So I'll say this. Sharon, I think we would all agree, and you tell me if you disagree, B-Dub. Our recruiting strategy since about April has been showing good results. We are landing more top 100 recruits than we've had in the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. We are getting, if you look at our recruiting class, there's one kid who's not ranked in the top 500. 13 of these kids are 4 stars. Okay, 13 of them are 4 stars, or maybe 14. I don't have to look, but whatever. Point is, we're getting blue chip players. We're getting high level talent. And the one kid who's ranked in the 500s is Chase Taylor. And I'm going to tell you, he's not a 500 level player. That's a 300 level player, if not better. And the coaching staff feels the same way that I do about him. He's one of my favorite commits in the class. So we have an extremely strong class. The foundation's good. It's just not perfect, but that's okay because you have a portal, you know?
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think definitely, I definitely am seeing the floor being raised for sure, just with top 100 guys, even 300 guys, but even high, so we're going,
right.
Our there you average, go, like see, it's at 92, yeah.
Our average, let me see if I can pull it up. Our average is the 7th best in the nation right now for recruiting. Let me, I got it right here. I should have it right here. Let's see if I can pull it up.
But what also does obviously this is just with the coaching staff and maybe their comfort zone, right? But I'm just surprised that when it comes to Midwest guys, like when it comes to the Connecticut, Pennsylvania, East Coast stuff, that we don't recruit that very much. It seems like we definitely go for a lot of Southern schools.
80%, like folks. I said about a year ago, maybe a year. So back in the day, when I hosted this with Mark Rogers, voice of college football, was on here, and I told him, look, I think blue chip ratio is important. I also think development and coaching and nutrition and strength and conditioning and all of that's also important. But 80%, what a testament to this recruiting class, to this recruiting staff. Especially after Jim Harbaugh leaves. Jim Harbaugh takes pretty much the entire defensive coaching staff. Ben Herbert, who's widely considered one of the 3 primary points of contact from every football player. The fact that they were able to do all that and still pull this off is absolutely impressive. And you got to tip your hat to the staff.
Well, this is what I mean. This is our recruiting strategy now, guys. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to tell you this. It's going to get better. It's not done. They're going to keep evolving, keep growing it. They're building the infrastructure now. They just expanded the recruiting department to over 20 staff members. It was below 10 before. Okay, they are aggressive. They're in. We had this for you. B-Dub knows. We had this for you about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, whatever. The regents, the collectives, the president, the athletic director, they're all in line with their NIL strategy. And Jared Wagner is well aware that it's good, but they want to get better. Dusty May himself says he wants the best NIL in the Big Ten. Listen, Michigan is looking to be more competitive in that space. And what we're doing right now is not even including revenue sharing, which is going to be coming for the 2025 class. We're in a good spot, guys. Is it perfect? No. Is it the best? No. But like when you got Oregon and you have a freaking donor who owns Nike and he's like a few years from death, and he's literally acting like a baseball owner who wants to get his team a World Series and says you have unlimited NIL, you're not going to compete with that. You're just not. Yeah, so the reality is, if you look at what we're doing, we have an 80% blue chip ratio. And like I said, 2 of our 3 stars, one of them's a top 2 center in the nation. The other one's Chase Taylor, who's not a 3-star. He's not. We're good. Like the class is good, guys. We just have some holes. If we land Andrew Babalola, let me ask you this, B-Dub.
Yeah.
If we land Andrew Babalola and Jaden Sanders, what's your thoughts on the class? Obviously, there's going to be some more room to fill more players, but what's your thoughts on the class then? Because we'll have a corner, we'll have a dominant.
Oh no, I mean that's huge. I mean, no, I agree 100%. Sometimes I'm just very very critical sometimes of things.
It's okay,
but I also know, I see both sides of things. It's just who I am as a person. So see the good side, see the bad side. You know, I'm critical in the sense like I feel like we can be a little better in some places.
Of course,
right? But at the end of the day, you know, I'm just being hard on it because I mean for the progress from when all the coaches got signed on. Right. You know, I was going to give Brian Jean-Marie some crap today, but that's fine. I'll wait.
Okay.
But
hey, no, you're fair though. Like, let's actually hit on it, man. So, like, out of all the coaches right now, Brian Jean-Marie is
probably him. Yeah,
he's the one who has not pulled his weight yet. But if he can land a Wasu Boateng, hey, we can all we'll get his address and we'll all write handwritten letters and we'll let him know, hey, sorry, man, you are the shit.
Mm-hmm.
We were wrong.
Let's hope, dude. But that guy's playing everyone like a fiddle. You never know what that kid's soaking it up. So God knows. So he will literally, and I don't think Michigan ever wants to be. I don't think anybody wants to be on that stupid Under Armour football game where all the kids go with the hats and they choose and they find out that day.
Michigan gets
you don't want to be that.
So those all American games, Michigan, their kids go to those. Our kids go to those.
But you just don't want to be that team that's like, dude, we literally have to find out at this.
Oh, I know that does suck. That does suck. It does suck.
You know, obviously recruiting, you don't want to come down to that, but I get it. But no, I think by far this class honestly is very impressive. Honestly, you know, I was very optimistic, not pessimistic for sure. I was very optimistic. I'm like, let's see. And honestly, they're just hitting these guys one after another, really, really getting good guys. And you see the physicality that they play with.
Right.
Understand that some of these kids, yes, it may just be how they play. Period. Some of these top 100 guys, whatever. But you just see it on film; it just shines, and you're like, wow, I can see, you know, why we got these kids and picked them and stuff. And overall, very, very impressed. You know, apparently that possible interview candidate, that's a good sign from what I saw.
Yeah.
Someone might have sent me something because he can't resist.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I see it. That's a good sign. So yeah, no, I think overall, I'm very impressed, and hopefully it's just more good things to come for sure.
But all right, B-Dub, what else you got for us? So we're gonna get to our Jesse's not even on there. So actually,
Jesse, come back.
Yeah, I was gonna get Jesse, but he just left. But all right, B-Dub, what else you got for us? We'll take one more and then we'll move on. If Jesse comes back, he comes back. If not, then we'll do a closing on it and then we'll go from there. What else you got for us, big dog?
I gotcha. Was it no, I think that was pretty much it because I think I touched on most. I didn't want to really touch on, but we talked about just a little bit. That's fine. But no, I think overall pretty impressed with the class. Addressed the stuff with LSU and everything like that, and I feel good. I think that's we're just waiting on Babalola. That's it. Like you said, Sam Webb said he had rumblings.
Right.
If those rumblings come to fruition, we'll see. That's the end of the month. It looks like possibly, but
and nobody's more tapped in than Sam Webb, dude. So if Sam Webb's hearing some smoke that Babalola's, we could close on him soon. I mean, I don't know. Did you watch the recruiting roundup today, or the?
I watched both. Yeah, I watched the roundtable and then watched 247.
We all know Philip Wright's going to commit Saturday. And he said commits plural, right? So he's saying that, and the one he's hinting at is Babalola. So we'll see.
That's what I'm hoping too. I mean, that's what I was hearing all week. So
I have not heard that he's looking to decide now, but if he does, he does, man. And if he does, that'd be huge. We'll be all over it. But thank you, B-Dog, for calling in, man. You calling every week. I appreciate it. Thank you for being a member, bro, and contributing to the channel.
No problem, man.
All right, bro.
All right,
go blue, bud.
Thanks, Paul.
Go blue.
All right, John, let's hit our we got a super chat here from
we do.
Justin again. Justin.
Thanks, Justin.
Appreciate you, bro. Honestly, thank you for contributing to the channel and throwing these super chats at us. Michigan has a bunch of kids from Connecticut and Pennsylvania area. Zach Zinter was from Connecticut. Our best defensive back last year was from Connecticut also. Who would you say is our best? I mean, our best defensive back. Well, you're not saying Josh Wallace. I'd say Will Johnson was our best defensive back, and he was from Michigan. Rod Moore is from Ohio. Makari Page is also from Michigan. He played for West Bloomfield. Josh Wallace played for Massachusetts. He might be from Connecticut, but I would argue he's not our best defensive back. But look, the Northeast has been a strong pipeline for Michigan. TJ Guy is from Massachusetts. Oh, Sanderson.
Sanderson.
Shit. All right. Hey, that's one. +1 for you. Good point. Mike Sanderson is a dog, and probably was our MVP in the backfield. You're right. So good. Shout out to Justin for calling that one out. Yeah, you're right, man. And yeah, the Northeast has been good to Michigan, no question. What's funny is that infrastructure, that pipeline was laid by Don Brown. Because of Don Brown, Michigan has a strong presence in the Northeast. It's been a little less. If you've noticed, this recruiting staff, or this year especially, we've been hitting Florida hard, Texas hard. They've been going a little more national, and it's been working out. I mean, it's been working out. Philip Wright's from Louisiana. We've had Jasper Parker's from Louisiana, Jacob Washington's from Louisiana, Philip Wright's from Louisiana. So we've been getting a lot of these Southern kids, and it's good to see. But all right, let's get our man, Jesse Allen, from the road. What is up, bro? Are you there?
Oh, not much, fellas. Just enjoying this nice, peaceful night in Illinois.
Ooh,
oh, yeah,
all
man.
right.
So what you got for us?
I was just curious if y'all thought we might pull a surprise tomorrow when Derek Meadows announces, and if he does, he does surprisingly pick Michigan, which I think it's Notre Dame. But if he does pick Michigan, do we still take Philip Wright and Andrew Marsh and take 4 receivers in the class?
I don't think it's Notre Dame, by the way. I don't think Derek Meadows is getting Notre Dame, and I don't think it's Michigan either. I think, what school was it? Moose probably knows. Moose, type in the comments the school he's trending to right now. There's another school that's making a move right now on Derek Meadows. But so right now for the wide receiver class, Michigan is looking to take Jacob Washington, Philip Wright, and Andrew Marsh, those 3. Now, if there is an elite talent, like we're talking elite, like a Derek Meadows, they would take that. But all the elite talents like that are kind of trending elsewhere. And for example, Taz Williams, a kid out of Texas, Michigan kind of slow played that once they knew Philip Wright was coming to the class, and Andrew Marsh. So Michigan's pretty happy with its wide receiver class right now.
I'm happy with that. I mean,
it might be LSU
we just need that
for Meadows, by the way.
Okay.
It probably is. I just think that they need that. They need that Nico Collins, 6'4", 6'5" guy that he has the speed to stretch the field, but also win the deep balls. And the battle balls, the 50-50 balls. We kind of got bailed out a couple years ago at OSU when they called that pass interference, on Ronnie Hickman against Ronnie Bell. If that's a Nico Collins, man, he's catching that ball, pass interference or not. It's touchdown regardless.
Yeah, we need that. And I saw Moose's thing on Notre Dame. I don't know. I saw some smoke actually today that things might be trending away from Notre Dame. We'll see what happens there. We'll pay attention to that tomorrow. But anyways, yeah, no, I agree with you. We need that receiver, that big body receiver. We haven't had that in a while. Jacob Washington, we're hoping, is that. Nico Collins was a better prospect out of high school than Jacob Washington. But if Jacob Washington can develop into his frame, he's going to be a problem. He's fast as hell. He's lanky as hell. He's a true X wide receiver. But I mean, I'll say this in terms of the weapons that Michigan's acquiring, from Andrew Olish to highly likely Andrew Marsh, Philip Wright, and then obviously our running back core. We're looking okay. And then I think we would all agree our quarterback room is looking very good for the future for the next 5 years with Brady Hart, Carter Smith, and Jaden Davis. I don't know. I'm not too concerned about it personally. I think Michigan is doing good. Do we need an elite 6'4", 4'4" wide receiver who's going to be likely a first-round pick? Yeah, that'd be nice. But at the end of the day, those are really expensive players, and I don't know if Michigan can get its NIL to an even higher place than it is now, then maybe they'll get in those battles. But right now, they're kind of they're just not going for that highest bidder thing right now. And I think they feel if they have a bunch of weapons, it will they'll be able to compensate for any, for not having that Marvin Harrison Jr. You know what I mean? And we've seen
I mean, it'd be nice to have that big receiver, but if we can keep getting flex tight ends like Andrew Olish, Colson Loveland, and stuff, and you can put them guys in there, and you can put 6'3" Jacob Washington out on the edge. That was Cornelius Johnson. He wasn't that short. Yep. He was 6'3". He was a big receiver, and he was quick. So you can afford to go with the smaller receivers when you have them flex tight ends like, Andrew Olish and Colson Loveland, because we all know that most of the defenses we played last year, even Ohio State's included, they couldn't cover those tight ends. They gave their linebackers fits. Alabama was another one. I heard something about they were talking about that. We couldn't cover the tight ends. Washington, another one. We couldn't cover their tight ends. So as long as we keep getting them type of guys, I agree with you, TJ. I think that they'll be all right. I think Michigan could actually afford to probably, even if they miss out on their top targets at quarterback in 2027, which I highly doubt, because there's this kid in Cass Tech, highly rated. I think, if I remember right, he could be number 1 or somewhere between number 1 and number 5 player in the state of Michigan for 2027. And he's a quarterback coming out of Cass Tech. And Cass Tech, as we all know, has been very Michigan friendly over the years. So I agree we're going to be all right, in the near future as far as quarterbacks, because you land that kid, man, you're set.
So
2025, 2026, 2027.
The kid you're referring to is a 2028. The 2027 quarterback. 2028. Yeah, he's a 2028, and and he's going to be at the barbecue at the Big House, by the way. And but they just got that confirmed. But the kid that we should be aware of, and it's crazy, 2027 is so far away. But since we have Brady Hart, we might as well look at 2027. Trey Taylor is the name to know for the quarterback for 2027. And this kid is nasty elite. And the reason why I will bring it up in the sense of being like, well, you should probably know, this kid's visited like 15 times already, and he's coming for barbecue at the Big House. And this kid is going to be potentially a 5-star talent, definitely top 100. He's legit. His arm, he's a freshman in high school, and his arm is insane. So, so again, quarterback, Kirk Campbell, they got it. They're doing their thing. We do look to be in a good position even for 2027, even 2028, but it's so far away. It's hard to even get emotionally attached to it or look too much into it. But I do think Trey Taylor is a name we should at least be aware of, because we're already on to 2027 QBs. That's how good recruiting is going for us at that position. And I want to give an update on Derek Meadows. So Tom Loy, who is the national recruiting insider for 247, and he's probably one of the most tapped in Notre Dame insider. Previously, he was a Notre Dame team coverage guy. He thinks LSU is the lead, and that's where I saw that. So LSU. So be on the lookout for LSU for Derek Meadows. We'll see where that goes.
I think they're gonna land a couple elite corners. You wait, even if we don't get them now, wait till the senior risers, which is what I believe we're gonna do with D tackle. You can get some guys there late in the cycle that are senior risers and stuff after this, that are looking to make a decision later on, in their senior season. I wouldn't be too worried about it.
No, so I know for a fact right now. So they feel good about Jaden. I mean, like Jaden Sanders is trending Michigan. It's looking good. It's not, not confirmed. No, I'm not like, even though I did lock it in, but it's recruiting. Anything can happen. I know for a fact that Michigan is looking right now, trying to find that elite lockdown corner for the class. They're looking. So we'll see what they can make of it. Adonis Curry is a name that's getting more traction lately, but he's not the only one. There's others they're working on. We'll see where that goes. And then I agree with you in terms of defensive tackle. I think they are going to look for a true nose tackle, a zero tech. and that's going to be a late senior riser. I fully expect them to add one of those in the class before, once the National Signing Day hits. Oh, we lost him. He was having Wi-Fi issues. He was going in and out. But all right, Jesse, thanks for calling in, bud. We'll let you go. All right, see you later, bud. So it should be just us, John. All right, there we go.
Well, real quick, I do want to introduce our brand new all-time Michigan versus Ohio State emoji. So we just launched that. I made it and I launched it, and TJ, we can always switch it up a little bit, but just it's live, so check that out. And then we actually have room for another.
Someone throw that new emoji in the chat. I want to see it.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, someone throw the new emoji in the chat. I want to see what it looks like. I haven't seen it yet, so this will be my first time seeing it.
There we go.
I don't.
There we go.
Shit.
Okay.
No, that's the scores. That's not the all-time. You're talking about the one that's the all-time record, right?
Yeah, 61, 51 to 6.
Oh, you know what? I was my live stream is behind. Hold on. Shit. All right, I'll check it out on there. Oh, I see it now. Oh, hell yeah. All right, hell yeah, John. There we go. All right, let's get to all right, first CJ Sadler, I wanted to hit on him. So he has, I want to confirm this. I'm pretty sure. I got to find it though. Let's see. Damn it. Here we go. All right, I'll have it right here. 1 second. He has confirmed. Yeah, CJ Sadler. I just want to make sure that was right. He has confirmed this. So this kid here, this is going to be, so this is again, 2026. You know, John, I told you, I don't like looking a year ahead, but our recruiting class is filling up so fast. There's only about 10 spots left. I'm starting to look at 2026. CJ Sadler is a name to know. Moose, shout out to Moose for throwing this out here. He's from Cass Tech. This kid is a freak. He's nasty. He's going to be an extremely high-ranked player. He's not a tall receiver, but it does not matter. This kid's a legit playmaker. He's been on the radar. Yeah, thank you, Jesse, for calling in, man. We appreciate you calling in from the road. Anytime, my guy. But CJ Sadler, yeah, so, dude, be on the lookout for him. We will cover barbecue at the big house. I'm telling you, this list is nasty. And I've said this. Anyone who's watched our show for the last, month or more, whatever, they are going to go aggressive with 2026. I'm telling you right now, if you guys like 2025, with Brady Hart already locked in, they are strategizing. They are going after a lot of elite talent. And when I mean elite, I mean elite. And another name to know, I'll throw this name right now. We'll cover this more as the weeks go on. Savion Hitter. He's a top 40 player in the nation. He's one of the top running backs. He's the top 3 running back in the nation. That's looking good. That's trending very good right now.
Very good.
Because it's a 2026, it's so early. It's hard to be like, all right, it's just tough. It's so early. So we will see. Yep, Savion Hitter. He's a dog. I'm going to tell you. And if you want to look at his huddle tape, go for it. But you might get emotionally attached. You might have some Marquise Davis nightmares when you sleep. If anything crazy happens, I'm just saying. I get nightmares sometimes. But the point is, it's looking strong. This 2026 class, be on the lookout, and we will have that covered and tapped in. I think we had a super. Did we have a super chat, John? We did. I believe. Did we hit this one with Nick? Donovan Edwards for Heisman.
Not yet.
He'll rush for 1,500 yards. Hey, let's get it, bro. I do think Donovan Edwards is in for a big year. I really do, because I think they know that Donovan Edwards took a back seat to Blake Corum last year, and I think this is Donovan Edwards' year. They're going to let him really carry the torch, and I expect a big year out of Donovan Edwards. We will see what happens. We will definitely have that every Saturday on the postgame show with me and John Diadamo. So every game for the rest of the season, for the regular season, guys, we will be your home for Michigan postgame. Make sure you check in and watch us and join the show. We'll be doing call-ins too.
DJ Khaled, another one.
I heard Carter Smith helped Michigan get Brady Hart. Kirk Campbell didn't know about Hart until Smith told him. Right. So, Sam Webb actually brought that up today. I believe it was Sam Webb. Someone brought it up recently where Carter Smith put Brady Hart on Michigan's radar. He also helped recruit him just like JJ did. And that's what's so beautiful about the Michigan culture. Because if anyone remembers, Jaden Davis helped recruit Carter Smith. And then we have Carter Smith and JJ McCarthy helping recruit Brady Hart. And there's also word that Brady Hart is going to help recruit Trey Taylor. So it's really interesting to see these kids playing the same position, recruiting these elite talents to Michigan. So, I mean, again, beautiful. You know, these are Michigan men. They're not afraid of competition. And, yeah, dude. I mean, listen, dude, if you're a Michigan fan, we're in a good place, guys. We're off a national title. We got 3-10 Big Ten. We got, 3-year run of Big Ten championship. Recruiting's picking up. The collectives are getting it going. It's good. It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine, man. But I want to appreciate everyone for contributing to the channel, from all of our new members to everyone who super chatted, all of our moderators in the chat. Big Moose coming through like always, Santa Moose, and everyone else who liked the video. And if you are not subscribed, please subscribe. We are trying to, let's get it. We'll throw it up here again, John, before we get out. Actually, shoot.
Well, real quick, while you're pulling that up, Moose has reminded us a few times, but we're 5 days away from Amazon Prime Day. So if you're looking into Amazon Prime Day at all, if that's something you partake in or you want to participate in that, please consider using the Voice of College Football Amazon link. It supports the network. It supports Mark. It just takes a second. I'm going to be using it personally because I plan to get an Xbox Series S so that I can play College Football 25. I've already gotten a few invites to play against people. So that'll be happening, and I'll be using the Amazon link to get that so that Mark can get a couple of bucks.
And let me also say, if our content slows down in the month of July, just know we're playing NCAA College Football 25. We're a little busy. I plan on making a dynasty and winning a Heisman. That's going to take a lot of time and effort. So just bear with your boy. I'm going to be a little preoccupied, but we will have content for you. We will do our Tuesday and Thursday show. I'm just saying, if the videos are not coming out as rapidly, we're putting in work for Michigan, just, so you guys know. But Here we go. Yeah, here we go. The Kenneth Grant OSU chase down tracker. Let's catch Ryan Day, because we all know Michigan should be ahead of Ohio State within the Voice of College Football Network. So if you are unsubscribed, please subscribe. Please click the bell and be a part of this. We have the best, John, we have the best. I mean, look, we were at the Texas show, right? Who showed out in the Texas show yesterday? Was it our community or Texas's community?
I mean, Michigan came to play, man.
That's right. Our community. We have the #1 community in the network. Look at all of our members that joined us today. We appreciate all of you. And it's not even just the members either. Everyone who's watching from the different platforms. We're at 300 and about 30 viewers as we speak right now. And everyone in the comments, we appreciate all of you guys being a part of the show, being a part of this journey that we're on. And I couldn't just be happier with the growth of the channel and the growth of the community. We really appreciate all of you guys, honestly. So again, help us catch OSU, because after we catch OSU, we are in the pursuit of Miami. Because why the hell should Miami be #1 in the network? I think we all think that's crazy. But
everybody wants me to get a PS5, TJ. So
dude, the PS5, dude, the PS5 community is strong. I'm an Xbox guy too, dude. So we might lose some subscribers right now. But I'm just saying, like, the PS5 tribe, they're strong, bro. Like, they are all about some PS5, dude. And then, hey, if you're a PC guy, forget it.
Yeah, they're screwed.
They're about as tribal as it gets, man. They're like F councils. You guys are like nuts, dude. But all right, guys. So I'm TJ Ronin, TJ_Ronin. You could find me next, actually Saturday. I'm gonna have a recruiting breakdown for you. So be on the lookout for Philip Wright's recruiting breakdown. We should definitely have that. I think he's going to be committing around 5 o'clock, but don't quote me on that. It should be Saturday, though. You can quote me on that. And then we will definitely be back for Tuesday, 8 p.m., Michigan Wolverines Live with my boy and host of the channel. I'm co-pilot of that show, John Diadamo. John, let them know where they can find you. And yeah, man, and let them know.
Yeah, that's right. You can find me a couple of places. So you can find me on Twix at John Diadamo. I'll put that link right there. I host, as TJ said, the Tuesday night 8 p.m. Eastern show. We will have some very special guests in the next couple of months and weeks ahead. I can't wait to talk more about that. And by the way, we have a Twitch now. So I think, I mean, if anybody does Twitch, we want to start growing that thing. So when we start playing College Football 25, we can maybe start using the Twitch account more. So go ahead and give the Twitch a follow. That's not my personal. That's the Voice of College Football. But I'm just gonna pop that right here and go and I actually fucked up there. Twitch.tv. So check that out and help us grow, help us double our follower count. And
we're trying to get to 50 followers. If we can get to 50 followers, we can unlock some things for the channel and do more with it. We are definitely looking to do more to it. So be on the lookout for that. The Twitch channel will at some point be up and running, fully operational and good to go. Right now, we are streaming on the Twitch channel. We stream all of our live shows there, but there's more we can do with it, and there's more we will do with it. But we just started launching it, and we're definitely coming up with some ideas, pen to paper. We will get that going and more optimal. And obviously, with the game coming out, tons of options. We'll figure it out, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all right, so let's hit this super chat from Justin. 3 Big Ten titles in football and hockey. We own college sports. Yeah, listen, we're Michigan, bro. I mean, it's what we do. And that's why it's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. And Justin coming through again, because Justin is also Santa Claus. He's like, it's like, the Red Cross, little basket. Here's $1, here's $1. Justin's always looking out for the channel. We appreciate that. Thank you, Justin. Great show, TJ and John. Well, hey, thank you, everybody, because you guys make it a great show. The callers, everybody who called in, you guys make this show. Like, it's great to be a part of this. It's great to wake up every day and figure out how do we make this channel better for not only us, but you guys, right? So like our new emoji we just dropped, that was an idea given to us by the viewers. So like we appreciate all you guys being, hey, this channel is not just our channel. It's your guys' channel too. We take your guys' feedback. I was given the idea. You guys gave me the idea. We should do a prospect breakdown when high school season starts, and we are. Hey, with whatever the people ask for, we bring it, dude. So appreciate all of that. And all right, John, any last thoughts before we get out of here and say goodbye to Wolverine Nation?
Look, I'm really pumped about recruiting. I'm really pumped about the class that we got coming up, the games that we got coming up. I'm really pumped about this channel. We had 4 Michigan related shows the last 2 days alone, 2.5 days. So the content's just growing, and it's because it's not just Mark and me anymore. You got TJ, you got Ferris, you got Cliff and Mac. You've got the entire cast of characters in this chat right now. And we now have a Twitch follower. Thank you for that. So yeah, I mean, couldn't be happier with how things have been going. It's always nice to have Mark Rogers himself in here supporting. He even said he stopped watching Elvis Presley for a few minutes to come in and support us. That's if you know Mark, that's a big deal.
Elvis is like, next to you know who, and I won't say any more out of respect. But anyways, our boy Blue Wolverine also wants to follow back, John. So we'll see what we can do there. See, the issue is when I try and log into Twitch, it sends a code to John. So we'll figure it out. We'll get that going more. But then Justin's like interview with players. Look, I assure you, our intent is to, holy shit, dude. Look at this, John. You see this, John?
Oh
my guy, God. Keegan. Hey, Keegan. Appreciate you, bro. Honestly, man. Again, he's a member. Not only is he a member, he's contributing to the channel. And I'm just gonna let you know, bro, like what that means to us is one, it just, again, our job is to bring you guys the best show possible. And when you guys show this much love and appreciation to us, it gives me motivation to just go harder, bro. Like, I'm just gonna be honest. Like, we gotta up our game. If you can see, we got a new background right now. We have a new YouTube banner. These are actually going to be tweaked a little bit more. They're not even finished products. We got more coming down the pipeline. And then our guy Justin just mentioned interview with players. Well, listen, I'm going to tell you this. Our goal is to up our interview game up. We have a plan that we're going to roll out in about a month. We're going to be doing that. Where the channel, and you guys know this. Anyone who watches this show will be like, all right, I know what TJ is going to say. Where we are is not where we're going to be. We're climbing a mountain. And obviously wonderful contributors like Keegan right here and the rest of you, even just liking the video, all of you. That's going to help us get there. And we appreciate every single one of you. And that's what I mean. We have the best community in the network, and it's becoming, arguably, it's growing into possibly the best community in all of Michigan football. in terms of all the sphere of Michigan football. Because I'm telling you, dude, we got some of the best viewers in the game, bro.
Look, Keegan, my man.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Yeah.
That is a hundo right there. Folks, look, these folks don't have to do this. Please go ahead and thank Keegan in the chat right now if you haven't already. Moose has, Nick has, Blue Wolverine has, and Justin's given like a bazillion today, and Moose has been giving a bunch of gifted memberships, which is also huge, and just it's just the beginning of what we're going to be doing the next couple of months. So thank you all so much.
And just like my guy in Wolf of Wall Street, I ain't fucking leaving, bro. Like, we're not going anywhere. We're gonna build this channel. My vision is to be here for years and years, bro. Grow this thing. I'm also taking some capacity within the network, and when I do take a larger capacity within the network, I'm still maintaining my position here. My intent is to never leave this channel and to grow this channel, because to be real with you, I have a great team with John, a great team with Ferris, and obviously our contributors and Cliff and Mac. We're growing this bitch, and we're not going nowhere, bro. So we're going to continue, and we're going to keep bringing that standard that you guys have all appreciated. I get a lot of feedback from the socials and on the videos. That's not going nowhere, bro. We're going to keep it the same way we've been keeping it, but just polish it up and make it better. And everyone in the community, because of you, we're able to achieve that. So thank you. Sorry, John. What a way to send it out. I think, did we get another? No, we didn't. Okay, I just want to make sure. I want to make sure we covered everybody. Again, appreciate everybody contributing to the channel. You guys are the shit. And yeah, man, you guys make us have the ability to brag to everybody else how great our community is. So Keith is the leader and chairman of the Jack Total QB1 train, and we appreciate Keith. Keith, you didn't call in tonight, man. Hopefully next Thursday.
Come on in tomorrow. Next Thursday.
Not now, because we're about to close it out. But next Thursday, man. I miss you, Keith.
By the way, Keith is the charter member, I believe, or one of the first members of the Connor Stallions espionage level of membership too. So really appreciate it. That's the highest level of membership.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah. So again, appreciate all you guys. You guys are the shit. So all right, John, any last words before we say goodbye to all of our friends, man? Because honestly, you guys are all shit.
I'm good.
All right, guys.
I'm ready to kick it.
All right, guys. Until next time, and as you know, it is always go blue. Thank you.
Go blue.